Welcome back, everyone, to our 168th edition of our broadcast here in the Issues Room. Today is Tuesday, July 11th, and we're broadcasting live here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on our Issues Room page. We'd like to welcome you wherever you find yourself tonight. Today, this afternoon, this morning, meaning the time zone you find yourself in, and the time in your part of the world will like to welcome you. We say thank you so much for joining us. We want to invite you to continue to like us, to love us, to be here with us. Share the link, invite others to join us here. We're here Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. on the East Coast and 11 p.m. in Liberia and those countries within the Greenwich time zone. I'm Volcano Shelton coming your way live here today. The Issues Room is the social media alternative platform here, emanating out of Liberia that discusses the things that matter to Liberia, the continent of Africa, and the Black diaspora. This evening, we're expected to have Mr. McLean Rano, and Rano will be joining us. We try to test it out, but he's still having connectivity problem in Liberia. But it's hoped that if not, we'll go by telephone. So again, please share the link. Invite others to join us here tonight. It'll be great conversation. So many things been happening. In fact, they said man couldn't talk all, but man decided to talk all. So we'll be talking a little bit of the things that man talk all about, and we're going to further discussion with our activist McLean, who will talk about some of the things that he's advocating in Liberia and the challenges he's faced, the slaps, the punches, the dragging around, the thrown out of public spaces that is supposed to be for the citizens. He's been kicked out on numerous occasions, and we'll be looking at all of that tonight. But again, let me join my colleagues here, Moses and Alfonso. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us. We were trying to get some technical issues taken care of, and then we had this small glitch that we tried to rectify. Welcome, gentlemen. Our guest is backstage, so we'll go to him right after the salutation.
Thank you. Thank you, Volcano. Alfonso. It's pleasing to be here with the both of you tonight. The Volcano said, every time we come in here, there are breaking stories. So we have come again to educate. That's what the issues room is all about. So it's always a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Yeah, gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening. It's a great pleasure being with you as always. And as both of you said, yes, this platform is the place that, and we encourage people to come here. This is a platform where you come to and get real intellectual discussions and debate on issues rather than, yelling and screaming at each other and, projecting partisan views and arguing. This is where you get balanced views. So please come and please bring people along.
Thank you, Manneh Sumo. We say thank you for joining us here. We're looking forward to many of the guys. I'm sure that at some point the numbers will go up, and the reason for that is many of the other podcasts are on, and everybody is leaning toward the Henry Costa's press conference that he theatrically put together and displayed with eloquence. I'll give him that. But equally, you know, how do we weigh in on this press conference from your perspective? If you watched it, I watched it, and I got to a point where I said this seems to be staged. Some things could have verity, but I think it was more embellished and it was over amplified. Some of the things didn't really add up, and so I decided to just not go further. But from your perspective, Moses and Alfonso, if you had the opportunity to watch that podcast or rather press conference, what did you make out of it?
Excellent question, Vakana. I watched the press conference in its entirety. So a lot of issues evolved, and for me personally, as a critical thinker, as I was watching the news conference, one thing that really stood out to me is that what Mr. Costa did yesterday. And Volcano 10 years from now, you will tell me, Moses, you did. Uh, what Mr. Costa did yesterday, he has demonstrated not only to Liberians that he's not a reliable, dependable person. And I think the negative implication of what he did yesterday is really going to impact his life, for years to come. Uh, Yesterday, it was Omer Joseph Boakai that he denigrated. I mean, let's even forget about the politics to come publicly, whether that information was true or not, to come publicly and discuss someone's health, health record. And I assume that Henry Costa is an educated person. That would be my assumption because when I say I assume, is that you and I know that it is illegal for any of us here to discuss another person's health record without prior approval. And he came here, he told the world, negative things about the Omer health condition. And this is coming at a time that the CDC is trumping this message that Omer Boaka is medically unfit. And to have someone who was once an ally coming to reconfirm that is troubling. It's troubling. There are several anchors of what he said yesterday, but I would like to pause. I know you guys have your own contribution, and gradually we can begin to look at it from several angles. I think what he did was appalling, and that has really dumping his future as a young person.
Alfonso?
Yeah, I think to add to what Moses said, it was really horrible. It's not only is it horrible morally, it's really illegal to go and it's a HIPAA violation, and it crosses a lot of lines to go and discuss somebody's health medical records publicly, especially at a national press conference if you are not authorized to do so. And Mr. Costa, having lived in the United States, you know that. But beyond that, I think I his statement yesterday also raised a lot of questions than answers. Some of the key questions that I have are: one, why didn't he name these people who were offering him $30 million to run for president? That's critical information. Who are they? What did they want from him? Why were they giving their $30 million? Did they want anything in return? Did they tell him they wanted anything in return? Did Mr. Costa not know that foreigners contributing to elections is wrong and a crime and a violation of Liberian law? And he was pursuing it. Um, and then, of course, he said that he told Mr. Boakai not to pick Jeremiah Kuhn because Jeremiah Kuhn is affiliated with Prince Johnson, and Prince Johnson is under U.S. sanctions. Well, Mr. Costa has been a member of Bernard Uri's political party. Bernard Uri was also under U.S. sanctions for also committing crimes, including using money, Liberian people, maritime money to buy weapons that were shipped to Sierra Leone to kill people and that were used in Liberia to kill people. So is it that he was as a matter of fact, Uri was under U.S. sanction when Mr. Costa became a member of his party and was working as a member of his party. So, what's different between Uri being sanctioned by the U.S. government and Prince Johnson being sanctioned by the U.S. government? What's different between Costa working for Uri and with Uri when he was under U.S. sanctions, and Mr. Kuhn working with? So again, it's double standard, and these are some of the concerns that I have. So I think Mr. Costa owes the Liberian people a lot more than he told us yesterday. He needs to tell us who these people were. Why would they bring $30 million? If you ask me, and I believe if you ask many Liberians, Costa's prospects for presidency in Liberia in this election, Costa is a long shot. So why would somebody bring that $30 million and give it to him to do what?
Let me come in from this angle. I think, you see, when young people uh, think that they can talk and talk, and people appreciate it, because in Liberia, if you show that you're eloquent, people tend to appreciate it. I think you get over your head, like the Samuel Tower who believes that he's the best and he
Mhm.
knows how to talk, but he knows how to lie. So Costa, I think he's gotten to the point where he feels that he's a celebrity and he's on the equivalence of that of George Weah, which
Mhm.
is of course not the case, right? He's on the equivalence of that of a Charles Taylor, which of course is not the case. So if this, from the way I listened to this press conference, it almost sounded like this whole thing was concocted and planned over time, and they created a perfect timing so
Yeah.
that it can throw a wedge
Hmm.
in the UP and its quest for the presidency.
Yeah.
Let's come back to the fact here. That's what I say. Liberian politics is immature. It's not civilized. It's not a civilized form of politics, because these people never come to discuss the issues. They never come to debate the issues, to talk about what they're going to do for kids now who are zombies, kids who are butting light poles, kids who are beating 45 in the street, kids who are levitating because of drugs. They are not debating that. They're not debating on accounted for death in the country. They're not debating how they will strengthen the security apparatus so that people can feel safe at night when they sleep, so that investment can come into the country. They're not talking about those things, but they've been, going at each other. That's why I call the politics in Liberia Sony Wen politics, filthy politics, dirty politics, mudslinging politics that has no place in civilization. Because the Liberian people should not even be paying attention to those kinds of nonsense. They should be looking for answers to the problems, serious answers to the problems. But here the disconnect. When he mentions Yombli Kanga and how Boyka said that Yombli was irresponsible in leadership, she sold her party to Musa ability and all of that. Was that necessary if even that conversation went on? But this is the difference between mature politicians and immature want to be politicians. Yombli, on the other hand, irrespective of her not being selected, had a second thought. She sat there, she thought to herself, even when she was engaged by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, by the Alexander Cummings, by the Musa Ability, all of those guys engaged her to go as the fixer too. What did she say? I
Let
was,
me add to you.
yeah,
The broom one also engaged her.
yeah. But she,
Traveled to Basso, engaged her.
but she said, I will stay put.
Yep.
That's the maturity in politics. Even when the tide sways, when the billows rise, you must stand your ground. You must hold on to the value. I heard Henry Costa call Joseph Baka a poo-poo pot. So I was surprised. I was surprised that Mr. Baka will cling on to this young man who he knows has this kind of character. If he didn't get it, then everybody else shouldn't have it. And I'm being straight up here. So the Liberian people who buy into this, they are the ones who are going to feel the pinch tomorrow if they make the wrong decision. It's their destiny. But I just wanted to throw this in here, that the maturity of our politics is nowhere closer to any kind of political dispensation. What we have is just irresponsible. Somebody come to make a serious statement, everybody behind it say, whoa, yeah, whoa, just make a whole lot of noise until the person lost track of what they want to say. So it's elementary. It's irresponsible. It's Sony Wen. Sony Wen politics is what happened in Liberia.
And let me just piggyback on what you guys said. Volcano, you put it rightly. And leadership comes with maturity. And Mr. Costa lacks that. He demonstrated that yesterday. That's what I said earlier. What he did yesterday has created more problem for his future than good. No one going to trust him. He's not a leader. He's temperamental. This is the guy who wants everything to be about him. And when you do that, then you're not better than George Weah. And even if we do the comparison in terms of celebrity, of being a prominent person in the country, Mr. Weah and Mr. Costa are not comparable. Where George Weah sat over the years, it will take Henry Costa 100 years to get to that level. I'm telling you.
No,
So, Mr. Weah,
this
I'm being honest with you.
is not
And
this. Hold on,
Mr. Weah is a star. And we all know that. When we talk about soccer in the world, the name George Weah is mentioned. I'm a strong critic of Mr. Weah. But I'm also saying that if Mr. Costa wrongly believes that he's such a celebrity, that he can come and just spew gibberish and people will take it wrong with it, he's in the wrong place.
and I'm
Take, for
hearing that
example, right?
quickly.
Yeah.
Inside source
Mhm.
intending to run for president.
Yeah. But
Okay? I don't
the
know going with ALP.
yeah, the point I was trying to drive here, right? Like Alfonso said earlier, let's do some logical thinking here. Henry Costa a few years ago ran to be representative. He did not succeed. And who in his right mind, Volcano?
What's this?
Who in his right mind?
What's
Yeah.
the thought? Let me bring this young man on.
Okay.
Because he keeps going in and out.
Okay. Yeah.
McLean, can you hear us?
He's struggling with internet connectivity.
Yeah, that's Liberia for you.
Yeah, that's
McLean, can you hear us?
okay.
All right.
Okay, we could do this if he's
No,
ready.
go ahead. Just continue.
Okay, yeah.
Bring it up.
So the point I was trying to drive here, who in his right mind would give Mr. Henry Costa
$30 million.
30 million United States dollars? What does he bring to the table? Oh, the people say I am the best suited.
Yeah, that's
Kennedy.
premonition.
Yeah.
Go had it playing ever since.
Yeah. Oh, the pastor said uh uh the pastor predicted that he would be a leader, a president, and someone shows up and reportedly offer $30 million. This is my own reading into it. Let's look at what is happening here. When Henry Costa went to Monrovia, before going to he went to Monrovia, and he declared the intention of wanting to be senator. I strongly believe that as part of the CDC strategy, I may be wrong, but I assume that as part of the CDC strategy to drive a wedge between Omer Boakai and Mr. Costa, and to dampen his intention of wanting to be senator on Montserrat County, those guys sat down and said, "Here, we think Henry Costa is a guy who goes after money, and let's just throw some figures out there." Unfortunately, Mr. Costa fell for that. Article 48 of the Liberian Constitution, prohibits foreigners for investing in in Liberia's electoral process. You cannot finance. No foreigner can finance any candidate in Liberia for an elected position. Article 48 says that. And Henry Costa fell for that. As he was saying, he went, he met with his people and all of that. Henry Costa, you were used. The CDC used you. Those who wanted to see you, not succeed, use you. Nobody was going to give you $30 million, my man. What do you bring to the table? 30 million? We're not talking about 10,000 Liberian dollars. We said 30 million US dollars. Have you asked yourself, what do you bring to the table? I will work for my money in the United States.
That he was going to win.
Yeah, I'll work for my money in the United States. Yeah, I say, Henry Costa, I give you $5,000 to go run to be president. Am I out of my mind? And
I
of
think
course,
So, guys, did I hear? Sorry.
he gets carried away. He gets carried away by the fact that he can mobilize people to raise money,
yeah,
pay his mortgage share, and listen. I have taught not to even put my mouth into certain things and on certain things. But when the people gamble with the future of our country,
Mhm.
When people take Liberia to be a piece of elephant meat that everybody can just come and cut, everybody wants to be president, everybody wants to be senator, everybody wants to be representative, everybody wants to feel important. Come on now.
Come
Where
on.
where where do you start? You start from the back of the line
Yeah.
until you get to the top of the line. You don't cut the line. Costa is cutting the line.
Yeah.
Costa, some of us supposed to be the one talking now. Some of us supposed to be the one asking the people to be presidential aspirants.
Of course.
What due has Costa paid compared to you, Moses, myself, and Alphonso?
But what's the main public record
That's what I'm
besides
saying.
being a podcaster? What's the
Yeah.
public record?
So
Yeah.
so why these kids want to cut the line? They're trying to cut the line to the presidency, and then you use all this kind of fake story. I mean, the boss scripter, whoever wrote the script,
It was well written.
and he eloquently presented his part. He is a stage actor. He was gesturizing, he was acting, he was, body, and then you got get Martina standing over him, get Fanny. I don't know if she was Fanny or looking at her food. But the whole thing was a spectacle.
Yeah,
Real spectacle. And I don't give credibility to many of the things he say, but I'm not saying that some of those things may not have come through, but I think he overemphasized the big man, the book people say exaggerated. Over exaggerated, and he wanted to create this make believe so that the Liberian people can see Mr. Boyka differently, and the rest of the people differently, because Alfonso continued to hammer this thought that the Benoni Euro is no sin. Benoni Euro came to prominence through the Liberian maritime corrupt money he stole to be where he is today and enjoying. But he was smart, a shrewd businessman. He turned most of that money around. That is why people think he's a businessman. No, he had nothing when he became a maritime boss. The man only had a bachelor's degree. So where could he have a cent to make that kind of money?
Made all that money from maritime program.
He only has a bachelor's degree.
Yeah. He and a lot of shady deals, including the arms deals from the maritime money, including the contract with maritime to
let me test this kid again and see if he can make it in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Are you here, sir?
McLean, can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm getting you guys.
And you listening to the conversation?
Sure, I am.
Okay. All right. Alfonso gonna make a point and we'll bring you in. So
We'll continue with him later.
So, and the shady maritime.
We got to move on. This man using data.
Yeah, no, very quickly. The shady maritime arrangement to move maritime to his mother house and pay himself up for several years.
Yeah.
But the question I wanted to ask, is it me or did you guys hear yesterday that Henry Costa said that Thomas Fala spoke to Boakai on the phone and told Boakai that this was a CDC arrangement? Am I making it up? Or
he made mention of this man, Senator Joseph.
Joseph, okay, Sir Joseph.
Yeah, Sir Joseph.
Sir Joseph was
that's the allegation that he made. Yeah.
Okay, that Sir Joseph said that to Boakai.
Yeah, that it was a makeup.
That the $30 million was CDC arrangement, and don't take it, don't agree with it. So Sir Joseph told Boakai that. Okay, so
all right, gentlemen, let's move into this conversation. We have our guest tonight. All of you who are watching, activist McLean Renner. He's in Liberia currently, a young man who has been in advocacy for quite some time now. We'll let him talk a little bit about himself, and then we'll go into this conversation because we don't want to lose you with the connectivity and you're using data, so we want to make sure. But let me give you this quick. If it happens that we lose you, you can call me on Messenger and we can use the audio piece, okay? Okay. All right. So welcome to the Issues Room. We followed your work a little bit, but we would like to hear from you. Let's start with the most notable work you've done after you tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get into advocacy?
Thank you so kindly. And then let me begin by saying this is a very great opportunity being provided by the Issue Room. I must admit that in fact there's a very rare one. There are millions of Liberians who are craving for this opportunity, but haven't given one. A Liberian like me, you guys have provided opportunity to escalate and elevate my advocacy on the international scene. I'm also extend my deepest attention and appreciation to all those who are watching this live now, and ask them to share this live as much as you can, because I trust that in fact this live will be more watering, interesting, and then we will have a better conversation moving on forward. And I want to say to Brother Alfonso Moses and you, Brother Sheraton, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, thank you. So the question here is, talk a little bit about your advocacy. How did you get into advocacy, and what are the things you are advocating in Liberia, and what's one of the most notable advocacy you've, uh, you know, had to deal with?
Uh, like I'm activist McLean Renner, a civil society activist who have started activism far back as 10 years plus in high school. And then we have went through the rank and file of different advocacies. We have even went to jail for our advocacy. Right now, if you look at the Gannonsville, Disville to Kebakawe Road that is being constructed by Elijoin Salif and completed by His Excellency President George Manneh. We went to jail for that rule, and then we also raised other issues in the public. But of recent, we have been in track over the past 2 years in a lot of advocacy, ranging down from all calling for the Morocco Corporation to be audited, because at the point in time in our country, we believe that in fact the street of Monrovia and other principal street of Liberia was extremely dirty, and then we took on to a one-man protest protesting that in fact if the Morocco Corporation cannot be audited, then in fact we will protest until we see a fruit. And to our mate, we were brutalized, we were manhandled, we were beaten by Morocco City Corporation police, and I found analysis that never been or swift or our advocacy. We move on forward to the GSC, and then we still support even the GSC, and then the GSC came down, and currently now there have been a huge level investigation at the Morocco City Corporation. Moving forward, fast forward, we understand that in fact we also stage a protest alleges when the latest saga opened, we re-raking the spirit of Liberian, raising the red flag that in fact the process wasn't accurate, and as such, there's a need that in fact the process come to a pause. We went as far as the Supreme Court, and then we have interaction with the current Chief Justice, Sani Yo, and other council went as far as the capital Benin, where Honorable Yega Konuba provided us the opportunity how even a large media aircraft, they will raise the bar high. Unfortunately to us, they never listened to us, the process went on, and here we are now with a number that cannot be accurate and cannot capture all of those development outline in a later process. We never stopped there. We went as far as the National Election Commissioner, where we protested for 2 weeks. Unbearable 2 weeks. We protested for 2 weeks, slept there for 2 weeks, protested that in fact the NEC at the time must be painted, because in this time all of the country will international partners will be looking at the NEC bidding, and that bidding in a deplorable condition will not have a better representation to the international partner and the citizen as well. As a mayor, they never listened to us. The following after 2 weeks, we took our pin there, and then we initiated the citizen beautification of NEC. It was interesting to know that in fact it was successful, and then we almost went to jail, but the next day we received a call from GSA, and then GSA carry on the painting. Another one we staged a protest as the capital building, where you found out that there was laws, that were being violated.
McLean, can you hear me?
Are you getting?
All
Yeah,
right,
we hear
Yeah,
you.
we are listening, McLean.
hold on, just pause there. Let me play the advocacy video for the NEC. Okay, let me just play that quick so people can
Okay.
can
Do
have
you
a.
hear him?
You can hear me, Moses.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Okay.
Abiran, if you look at this very, very deplorable. There are several places of the building as you have described. There's a front part of the building. There's a front part of the building. There's where our security says. You think that place will be dirty? You think that place will be dirty? Look at our security. That's why I said, you think the place will be dirty? We will beat this place. President William must come here this morning and join us. President William must come here this morning and join McLean. Waka must come here and join McLean. Cummins must come here and to arrest citizens. Do this in war. If the anything don't have money to bring that place, we the citizens of the Bureau must bring that place. And trust me, trust me, trust me. We will bring that place at the citizens. We will bring that place at the citizens. We are doing this in good faith. We don't want to do anything. We will bring that place at the citizens. I'm listening to you.
So you want to talk on the side, please?
Yeah, I just started my opinion for you and cabinet. Yeah. Thank you,
Please
Chief.
go on the side.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Bob.
All right. uh, I was just trying to throw light on that. Okay,
No, it's
continue.
good. Yeah,
The
yeah.
NEC, go ahead.
Great job. Go ahead, we're listening.
So when you play with a with a white chicken or jump in the mud, and no one talking for me to leave
Yeah,
it.
join the real.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
okay,
frozen.
he's frozen
It's
again.
frozen.
But let me watch him from backstage if he comes back.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but this is what we're talking about, Moses.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're talking about. These guys are pocketing millions and millions of dollars on a daily basis. And I told you the National Elections Commission's building was very dingy. The last time I was in Liberia, this past April and May, when you're driving by, the building is pitch black, dark, no electricity. So I don't know if things have improved since now we're heading into elections, but this is not a secret. So it takes a young man to look at a building that is right on the main boulevard in the country to say this is shameful. You look at the ministerial complex that Ellen and Jeb built, they play danger. The airport, the terminal that they're bragging about, the roof leaking. You can see some of the zinc lifting up. Where is maintenance? Does it have to take advocacy, activism to
No.
get the government to act? Where is maintenance?
Volcano.
I
One
mean,
of the
I know you're coming, but
yeah.
every day I ask myself, when I'm driving home from work, it's the time after I've left the job and I'm driving my low 35 to 40 minutes. I'm asking myself, how did our country got into this lowest point in our existence, in our time? So all the little book thing we're fighting for, my man, going to school in the rain and shine, that we can come back to contribute to our country. It end up in the hands of indigenous looters.
Yeah, but the point I was making here is that one of the biggest problem we have back home
Oh God.
is that our public officials pay little or no attention to maintenance.
To anything. Just put it that way. Anything. Yeah, don't say mental
Yeah,
anything. No attention to
because I mean, you have people at the elections commission walking away with, even if the money is coming maybe once every 4 months, but you got people walking away with thousands of dollars on a monthly basis. And the office is so dirty. Don't they have a leadership made to even think that we need to turn this around? Your human environment matters a lot. And it has to take someone to protest. Oh, we need to paint the NEC. Oh, Capitol building, we need to paint the building. And you walking away with thousands of dollars monthly? That's insensitivity.
Yeah. It's the way we treat government and public property and public resources extends from maintaining a building to stealing government resources to abusing government vehicles and all of those things because they belong to government. And that's the Liberian mentality. That's a terrible Liberian mentality. It belongs to government means it belongs to nobody.
Yeah.
So nobody's supposed to care for it. The only thing that would, so we even take government money and carry home and do whatever for ourselves. We don't care about whatever the public, whatever belongs to the public. It doesn't matter. We must convert it to our personal use. And that is a culture that's ingrained in Liberia that we need to address. If you all remember, we used to play soccer growing up, and if people say go sit down, we
It's like
replace
government
you,
boom.
and you said no. You said that government boom, you eat it. Anybody can eat it.
Oh, come carpenter shop.
Yeah, the cabinet shop. Just kick the man that government
Yeah,
boom.
man, like government
Nobody's
boom.
something. That mentality that whatever belongs to
Government
government
is not good.
is something that should be abused and disregarded. That we should take for ourselves and just leave government and public resources unattended to is the problem. And that problem, as the young man said, extends to the building that houses the neck,
Yeah.
extends Volcano, as you said, to the ministerial complex. It also extends to our streets. The day in the streets, in our marketplaces, the maintenance of our roads, our schools in dilapidated
Nobody
state,
cares.
our hospitals in dilapidated states. It is that mentality that's working. It's not
But
different.
you know what interesting, Alfonso and
Yeah.
Moses? What is the line item there for maintenance in
Thank
the
you.
budget? So
Yeah.
where is that money going? Where are they accounting for that money?
They
Because
divert it.
every budget
Yeah, it
must
should
have
have that. Yeah.
maintenance.
Maintenance. Yeah.
Okay, money's there for maintenance.
Mhm.
So if we've seen these buildings continue to go backwards from its original state and the dilapidation continue over time over a period of a government, then that's a serious problem. Then the corruption is clear.
Mm-hmm.
Then the corruption is clear.
Yeah,
So
very
who's
good.
responsible for making sure these things are happening? Is it the ministry itself? Is it the institution itself? Or there is another institution that's supposed to be the check or the eye for check and balance? We
What?
are not operating a country. When people talk about, oh, Ellen to the country from here, well, where Ellen to the country from? Where Ellen to the country from? Because I still don't understand it. Why I'm critical on Ellen is because if you took the country forward and you give it to people who are going to take it backwards and pass the place you took it from and go way behind, then there's a serious problem. So now who's going to take it from way behind, come powered by you, Ellen, and powered by Joe, who we are, to get it? Then you myself not going to be around by that time. It's a serious problem, Moses.
Absolutely. But like the question you asked, right, in terms of what makes the budgetary allocation, at every government institution, you have a team of leadership. You have the finance department, you have deputy for administration. Deputy for administration, maintenance, and all those people are answerable to administration. So these are the people that sit with the finance people, they make the budgetary allocation. I hate to run the office on an annual basis, including salaries and all, it's going to cost us $20. As part of that $20, that is where you say you're going to need, say, $1 to maintain the facility. So when you submit your budget, because all of them come together to go through the budget bureau, they submit their budgets. All the institutions submit budgets. That's how come the government is able to formulate a national budget. So if they give you $100,000 to run, say, or JFK, it means that they have calculated everything based on what you submitted. They make the huge disbursement to you. So then the question that comes, what is happening with the money?
But then let's go back to the the NEC case.
Yes.
Edward will come in and tell you, say, the man just brought one check to put it in.
Yeah,
Because
you remember,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
they
a
were having a
combination of
serious news
factors.
conference
Yeah.
and
yeah,
somebody came whisper, oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we just got one small check, but
Yeah.
we will
Can you
do it all.
imagine?
I go hold it, let me finish. So that's what I'm saying. So the money is
Yeah.
not coming as it should. But let's
Yeah.
let's leave this until we can get McLean back. He hasn't gotten back. Let's
Yeah.
go back to the Joseph Baga Costa saga.
Okay. So going
What
back
do
to,
you think?
okay.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go
So,
ahead. No,
so
you go ahead.
yeah, I'm coming. Yeah. So we've heard Mr. Costa.
Hmm.
I was in a close conversation last night, and I said, "What is happening with Baga Media Team?"
Yeah.
Because what will Baga Media Team? I think that what Henry Costa did, he punched out an artery. And when an artery is punctured, there's a lot of blood wasting.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
You
bleeding.
can't put
Yeah.
band-aid, you need gauze,
Hmm.
you need pressure to put on that.
Hmm.
Why didn't they come up with something immediately
I agree.
so the Liberian people can weigh the two, and then go
Yeah.
back behind the scene and come back?
Hmm.
Because these are the kinds of things that create the make believe and the believability. Again, as I said, Costa is not just going to dramatize all of that as a makeup lie.
Yeah.
Some things, but he embellished some of them. He exaggerated. He overemphasized, and sometimes when you're writing and you don't really go back to think about the what if and the questions and the hypotheses and the hypotheticals and all of that, people who will listen and listen and listen will have so many questions.
Question of
But
that.
what broadcast media team could have done was to take those very, we call it the meat, when we were,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
call it
Those
meat
is,
in
yeah.
journalism. You
Yeah.
go for
Yeah.
the meat and you address the
Dissect it.
meat.
Yeah. You
Wow,
know.
where are they? Have you heard anything, Alfonso, from anywhere in the broadcast camp, the UP camp,
No,
since
I
this
have.
year?
No,
There
I
are.
have not. Yeah.
I
Sorry.
haven't read anything, but what I've been hearing is that the old man reportedly, and it is reported that this emanated from the UP, that the former vice president says that he has forgiven Mr. Henry Costa for whatever that he said yesterday. Simply saying, hey, I'm not going to give, attention to this man. I will just move on. But at a critical time like this is not a time that you say you're just going to move on. Because this man, what Henry did yesterday was well calculated. It was well planned. The intention was what? To drive a wedge between the old man and his supporters. Can you imagine? Henry claimed that the old man told him that hey, he was not going to take Mr. Coon because Mr. Coon is a stooge of Prince Johnson. He has integrity problem. So if that is not well handled, that statement has the potential of putting the former vice president and his VP pick at loggerhead.
Let me ask Flomo
At
Livingston.
loggerhead.
Flomo, you said that the vice president response was great. What is that response? Can you just communicate
Yeah, so I
that?
forget Henry Costa. That's
And
what.
forgiving are great. We're
Yeah,
talking about the man talking plenty. Then they
yeah,
said man can talk, then the man talk, or then the vice president will not talk some too. You
yeah.
gotta talk some.
So the communication team need to come and better explain that. Hey, and I'm not trying to tell them how to handle this, but they need to provide some clarity on that. Whether the old man was said that and what the relationship is between the old man and Mr. Coon. Senator Yombi Kanga. He claimed that, oh, well, the old man said you will never pick her because she has leadership problem. She allowed Benedict to take over the Liberal Party. And why? Senator Kanga is head of the rescue mission. So Henry wants to what? Destroy that relationship. That was the primary objective of that statement. To destroy that relationship. So the communication team need to come together that, hey, what Henry said doesn't reflect the reality. They need to handle that. It can't just be say, oh well, I forgive Henry. Those people on the communication team, they need to do a critical review of some of the pronouncements that were made by Mr. Costa. And this has to be done, simultaneously. It just can't be one press release. You got to be on the radio. You got to use podcasts. They have to start reaching out because whether you and I like it, the election is between two presidents, Omer Bwaka and Mr. Weah. And the Omer campaign is gaining traction. So Henry Costa came to throw monkey wrench into that. So you can't sit back. If you own a communication team and you allow this to go with little or no attention, then maybe the old man need to rethink whether you should be on a communication team or not.
Well, let me
Need
answer
to
this
stop
question
that.
quick. Let me answer this question quick.
Yeah.
Plumber Livingstone, you said that we should be asking Henry Costa to give us the name of the investors.
Mhm.
But didn't Bwaka go and meet with the investors in Ghana and sat down in the room and he read the show? He said it's in a 419. He asked me to. So Bwaka should come and tell us. He saw
Yeah.
the people.
So let the old man come and let people say whether the old man met with any
Listen.
investors or not.
So
Yeah.
listen, gentlemen,
Mhm.
and viewers here tonight, let us not miss the mark here. Go back, take this document or this press conference,
Yeah,
however you
listen
want
to
to
it. Yeah.
listen to it and listen to it and listen to it. Some of us able to listen to something the first time and pick up.
Yeah.
Some people you gotta listen to it several times to
Yeah.
pick up.
Mhm.
Bwaka went to Ghana. Bwaka sat in the room with the people. Accordingly, the people said to Bwaka, "We want you to carry Henry."
Yeah.
Bwaka said, "Oh, but that Henry you're talking about, I'm my son. But let me go back to Liberia,
Yeah.
talk to my people, the party, and we'll make that decision from there." So Bwaka saw those people as well. So
Yeah.
let him can tell us because if I walk in the room, somebody has to introduce themselves. I'm
Of
coming in. I'm
course,
not
I ain't going to sit with anybody.
$30 million. I don't know who I'm talking to and where it's coming from. So let's ask Boyka the question. So when we say that this is important for people to come out, for the media team, Mr. Boyka to address the country, he shouldn't take chances.
No.
This can dampen his hope for the
Of course.
presidency.
Mhm.
If he plays the silent game, we already said Joe, we are getting told them Boyka ain't talk. I don't know what will go. Alphonso, let hear
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I think what the Boycott camp seems to be doing is doing some calculations, strategic calculations here,
Yeah.
regarding whether or not to respond. What the essence, efficacy of responding to Mr. Costa is. What would they stand? What they're looking at? What Mr. Whether or not Mr. Costa's statement has any impact on them in their
It
campaign,
does, Alfonso.
and
It
It
if
does.
does.
so, to what
Yeah.
extent?
It
It
does.
does, and to a
Yeah,
greater extent. If
yeah,
you see what's trending on social media right now,
It
you
does.
mhm,
be concerned. Let me
yeah,
tell you this quick before you continue, my brother. We are
mhm,
in this society.
yeah,
There are experts in media
mhm,
team who just on Facebook and capturing
Yeah.
the statements, the text, or what you would consider the chants and the
Also, whatever. Yeah.
posts that coming in, what people are saying,
mhm,
right?
Mhm.
yeah,
When it comes to political season in this country. You got people who just do that. You got people who listening to clips. You got people who watching videos. So what we're saying here is that there's a lot of attention that must be given. This young man has following. Let us not take him for granted.
No, I mean
You
that's
understand
true.
me?
Volcano.
And what
Yeah.
he said here tonight, I mean yesterday, there is a degree of truth to some of them. But did he not over exaggerate? Yes, he did. This is where they gotta come and say, listen, yeah, what the man said, yeah, what happened, and then we go from there. That's the point
so
I'm making.
no, and I understand that point. So in terms of public interest, the public wanting to know, you both are hitting the nail on the head. The public wants to know. The public wants to know more. The public wants to hear from both sides. The point I'm making, however, is that what individuals and political parties and institutions, whatever they are, do is they do their own damage assessment and analysis. So they look at it and say, okay, let me respond to this person. But if I respond, am I keeping it alive? If I respond, am I giving him more further? Am I just, going to encourage a back and forth and an argument here that even elevates him and what he's saying? Or if I keep quiet, will it harm me more? That's the analysis in public relations and in damage control that everybody and every institution does. So the point I was making here is, it is my assumption that they're doing that damage assessment analysis and saying, should we engage in a fight with Henry Costa? Is that what Henry Costa is actually looking for? A fight with us? So we elevate, and if we engage in a fight with him, will we be elevating him? Will we be willing to respond to everything he says? What if he comes and makes up something else tomorrow? Then we just respond to that, and then we also respond. And when do we end? So you start now, you respond, Henry Costa comes back, and then you go and respond again, and then he comes back, and then you go and respond again. Or after a while, you stop and then give him the platform to keep saying things. So I think all of that is an assessment.
Let's come from your perspective, and I
Yeah.
like the intelligent piece you're adding. But
Yeah.
tell me, if it were you at
Mhm.
this crucial time,
Yeah.
and your best ally,
Mhm.
Aaron Costa and Joe Boyka, nephew and uncle, comes out at this
You say
crucial
something like that.
and
Mhm.
says something like this, are you gonna go mute if it were
So,
you?
so I put the thing Henry Costa said in three categories. Category number one, and more important, Wologisi Mountain.
Yes.
Category number two, he betrayed the ALP.
Hmm.
Category number three, his medical records.
Hmm.
So I put those things, Costa statement, in those three categories. Now let's look at the issue of betraying the ALP and whatever and all of that. That's my assessment, and my personal view over there will be, I'm not going to respond to that. It's not important.
Look,
Yeah, the other
Alfonso.
point is Wologisi.
Moses?
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah, go
Let's
ahead.
look at Wologisi. Selling resources, trying to mortgage the resources. Yes, I will respond to that part of it. But the other things, such as he betrayed the ALP and his medical record, I wouldn't respond to those two things. If I would issue a statement at all, what I would say is, at no point did Mr. Barker made the statement. If it's true, he didn't make the statement about taking Wologisi to the people. If he did, then what stopped the people from giving him the $30 million? So he definitely did not. In fact, this is what happened. And he walked out of the meeting when these things came up. And that's how the whole thing broke down. That's why he didn't get the 30 million. He even refused to carry Costa. But we're not going to go into that. Costa is my son. We still have that relationship, but I just wanted to clarify the resources and the Wologisi issue, and we would not engage, and you move on. That's what
Yeah.
I would do. I'm saying this, Volcano, because you asked me what I would do.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
again, you don't want to go in the mud with somebody who's angry, who can say anything to the extent that they will even go to your medical records. You don't want to go into the mud with them. Besides, you are
So
involved in
so
a major campaign.
So
Ben
Yeah,
O'Connor
yeah.
says that, hold
yeah.
on, Moses. Ben O'Connor says that they probably fear that there will be more information released.
That too. That too. That
but
too. That's possible. That is possible. And you made a point earlier that Ambassador Barker himself did go to Ghana to meet with these people.
no.
Who did he think he was going to
You're
meet
coming.
with?
Yeah, you're
Who
coming.
did he think he was going to meet with? What did he expect? I'm sure he knew that Costa and other people told him that these people have money to offer you. So who did he think he was going to meet with? Did he not know that maybe they were going to ask for something from him? Did he just think they were going to get him free money and all of those things? Or was it coming with some price tag? So, yes, these are things in terms of the public interest that the public wants to know. But in terms of getting in a fight with Mr. Costa, I wouldn't encourage that if I was the public relations person.
So Moses,
But look,
just
okay, yeah. So this is what I want to say quickly, right?
yeah.
Alfonso, uh, it like you want to cherry pick. I will give attention to this. I will not give attention to that. And you made a statement which came across as being very definitive. Mr. Costa said or he alleged that the old man went to Ghana and met with people that promised to help finance the campaign. You and I do not have the evidence to show that.
Mhm,
So the United Party now need to come out to say, yes, the old man went to Ghana and he met with these people, or the old man did not go to Ghana to meet with anybody.
mhm.
So they have an obligation to clarify that. And another reason why I agree with you or I disagree with you that hey, he doesn't have to speak to anything that has to do with health record. Don't forget, our society is very, very gullible. The message that the ANC, the CDC continue to propagate is that the Omer is sick. He's not a presidential material, especially the ANC continue to propagate that the Omer will die soon. That's why it's important at this time. Don't forget, like I said, you have a very gullible society.
So let me ask you a
So,
quick
no,
question and then you continue.
yeah,
So you
okay.
think the old man should come up and say, no, I'm not sick. I'm not coming to die soon. Whatever my medical record he raised is not true. And somehow the CDC and the ANC will accept that as true and
Well,
stop propagating?
they have the office of the old man has an
Mhm,
obligation to clarify that
mhm,
whether he ever had discussion and he went anywhere that has to do with his medical record
mhm,
because his medical record, the issue of his medical record, is very important. There are people who are already predicting
mhm.
that his life is in danger, and you have a very close ally who comes to say that hey, we have medical records that show that this man, needs an immediate surgery because his health is in danger. Is that true? If it is not true, they need to clarify that
What if it's
because
true,
that's
Moses? What if it's true? He, sh-
well,
he should come out and say it's true.
no, listen.
Mm,
I'm only saying
mm,
they either have to deny or confirm what the man said. But I
okay.
know as a responsible party,
Mm.
they will know how to handle this. This is very, very critical. This particular statement, which has to do with his health, is important because a lot of people continue to preach this message, especially those who are opposed to his presidency or to his election. So they need to come and explain to Liberians whether what Mr. Costa is saying is true or not. They are under obligation to do that.
Yes.
When you
Public.
think about the man who is in Lofa, the man who is in Maryland, and the
Yeah.
man hears that, oh, my man, they said the papa went to Ghana or he was supposed to go to America for surgery. And the CDC people say the man will die in the next 2 weeks. Excuse me, go, I'm not predicting the old man's, death, but I'm just trying to reiterate what is constantly being put out there by the ANC and other people.
So
They need
here's
to
what I
speak to
would
that.
say, bosses. Here's what I would say to that. If
Mhm,
Mr. Boaka came out and said, I'm not sick, the medical record he gave is not true.
mhm.
That is not going to stop the ANC and the CDC from
No, it's not going to
propagating that
stop it.
message.
But what I'm saying,
Exactly. So
they,
so
they,
so so
yeah,
when you make statements or you take a position, public position, you should be looking at what you want to accomplish by that and what is possible to
yeah.
accomplish.
But
I think the best thing the old man can do, if he's not sick, if he's not dying tomorrow, is to actually go to the people in Nimba, the people in Bong, and the people in Margibi, and the people in Lofa, and campaign in front of them and say, "Yeah, me here, I ain't die yet. I want you to vote for me
But
and stuff." That's
but
deeds.
yeah,
So
look,
he's
Alfonso.
so it's deeds. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not going and arguing with people. Say the man say I said, but I say yeah, me and I say it's not
no,
going to get you anything because it's not going to stop the ANC and the citizen people from saying you sick. So
yeah.
what you do is you
So
stick to your point.
Alfonso,
Now the one
no,
final
no, no,
point I wanted to
Alfonso,
make
no, Alfonso. Let me
is
just say this.
mm,
Let me say this quickly.
mm,
You and I are saying the same thing, right?
mhm,
I'm saying the communication team has to do that. Just what you said, that this man, if he's going to go to a public rally and say this is the man that Henry Costa said was, that himself is in danger. Do I look sick? That would be another way of, conveying to the public that what Mr. Costa, reported yesterday
I was doing a
is far from the truth.
All right, let me listen. Stop there.
So
Let
he
me.
has to speak to that.
Let me play this quick,
Yeah,
please.
sure.
Let me play this quick. This is Boyka's son,
Hmm.
Joe Boyka Jr.
Oh, really?
much longer recording and I just changed my mind. I'll say this to you all. At no time in that meeting did the Omen offer those people anything in terms of concessions, in terms of Wologisi, nothing. The Omen only said to them, if you are business people and your support is contingent on my winning and what happens afterwards, then you bring your business interest and we talk about it. There were no specifics placed forward because that's what they are. They're business people. They're not going to come and support. So for it to be that and the Omen was surprised, like, how can your support be based only on the idea of me taking Henry as my running mate, not on any business proposition? You haven't even indicated what sector you're interested in. Nothing. So the Omen put no concession on the table. I know I was in Ghana, number one. Number two, yes, Henry called very disappointed after the conversation, after the Omen turned down the conversation. 2 hours, he made us sit on the phone and listen to him go through an entire diatribe about his prophecy and everything else. And again, the woman said clearly, Henry, we have partners, we have other political alliances and so on. It would have been completely wrong of me to go ahead and accept that proposition. And I don't think you're ready. And the woman asked each and every one of us on the call to weigh in. Myself, Mrs. Tama, Mr. Johnny, everybody weighed in. And we all said it. Henry, you're not ready. Henry ended that call and said the only thing he wanted was for him to find a way to access the money and so on. Bro, accessing the money is one thing. What was at stake? Completely splitting the opposition, because if that conversation had gotten out there to say, oh, the Omen is considering Henry, and like that's what he tried to push. But the reason he couldn't push it was because the Omen said a clear no. One. Number two, you really believe that the Omen and Costa had a conversation where he said to Costa that I'm not going to pick Yombly, I'm not going to pick Jeremiah Kun. I did not know who my Omen was picking until the day before he announced his pick. You think he actually told Henry Costa he was not going to pick those two people and then went back and picked Jeremiah Kun? I think you remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
A very good clarification. So
Wow.
you see, this is what I was talking about, Volcano, that this cannot be, oh well, I forgive Henry Costa.
And stop there,
Was
Moses. And
Yeah.
just like we were saying,
Yeah.
that at least
Yeah.
this is the son of the
The
former
Omen.
vice president,
Yeah.
and to what extent he's closer to his father than Henry.
Oh yeah.
He's way closer to his father than Henry.
Volcano,
And the young man said, I didn't even know who my dad was going to pick. Henry, he would discuss
yeah,
it.
Henry, we're discussing with it's like
Come on,
somebody
man.
saying
So
you know,
they begin was just trying to put. You see that was saying the man running ahead of the line in politics.
yeah.
He must start from the tail.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He has to start from
You can't
somewhere.
enter the bank and walk straight to the teller when you meet a line.
No.
You gotta stand you gotta stand in your space. This is what I mean. All the credible Liberians, their women would just go and throw it in the garbage and
Yeah,
pick
and
you
then
up.
Henry
What
Costa.
do you
Yeah.
bring to the table? The question you ask.
Yeah.
You done somebody wrote there, you people raising money for you to collect, you take it and you put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
You better got a job.
You don't have a job. No, he doesn't have a job. Don't
No, I
even
said
say
you know
better.
what,
Say
man
the
could be,
man is not working. Yeah.
was it could be on the table. I just said beg. You don't have
No,
nothing,
my man be defeated it. The man's not working.
all
Yeah.
because you can just talk plenty. So you think that talk plenty now will carry the country? That it must take you? I think he only hurt himself, Moses, like you said. I like the young man,
Yeah.
but he's just so egocentrical. He's all about himself. How can you talk about we are and you this kind of person, man? Let's
Yeah,
talk
no.
talk so.
No, man, they're not.
You hurting our generation,
Yeah.
our generation of this time. You spoiling the thing for us. You know, man, don't talk all. Then you say, oh, yeah, you
you're
got
not spoiling it for us.
no,
Maybe a good
right.
for us that some of them should drop by the wayside.
Yeah,
You're
spoiling
not
English.
spoiling it for themselves.
Yeah, then you
But
spoil yourself.
you know what, Volcano?
This is shameful. No, but Moses, this is shameful.
Yeah.
This is shameful. The young man did not deny.
Mhm.
And I think the old man is shrewd enough to go into a meeting and say, yeah, I'll get your Wologizi. He didn't even see the bag of money.
They
It's
just
like
come
every
and say, yeah. I don't know do that.
Come on now. Then,
So,
then you know what he hard. He said, but anything, let's try to get our money. And
yeah.
you know what he said? I
Yeah.
Thomas father engineer the whole thing.
My man, they're working at CDC operation.
The man in Ghana that just
Yeah.
ordinary man said, Papa saw the man in Roche coat. And when the Papa read, then he said, no,
Yeah. That $30 million people will be sitting
The
down like that.
information we actually got is when they got to the meeting, the old man saw the people. He said that people bringing to. Then the second thing was that when they said pig herring cost that
Yeah.
we are business. He said, but your business people, you ain't coming with no business thing
Yeah.
proposal on the
You want to
agenda. You
decide
want me
who
to
should
pay
be my
that
running
to-
mate.
if that to pig herring cost that is my son. So
Yeah.
you don't need to bring me here to tell me to pig
Tell you
herring
that. And
cost.
not only me, I gotta go back to the
And I gotta go and consult with my other people.
I think the other thing that people are trying to, and Benno O'Connor and Kennedy Kure, they're all arguing here that there was a meeting. Yes, there was a meeting.
Yeah,
There
we
was a
even
meeting.
the men's son agreed to
They
it.
just said
That
there
was
was
a
a
meeting. Yeah.
What happened in the meeting is totally a disconnect of what Henry Costa said yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what we should be concerned about.
Henry was not in that. Was Henry in that meeting?
No,
was
he
not in
wasn't.
the meeting.
He
was
wasn't
not-
in the meeting.
and he himself said he made a phone call
Yeah.
after the meeting, so he was
Yeah.
not in the meeting.
He wasn't
How
there.
could he have known that the old man gave Wologizi Mountain?
And so he can't be speaking
That
to
third party.
exactly.
Somebody called him and told him walking from out of the meeting. And
Yeah.
so how sure is he? Because he was, talking like he was there. He was quoting somebody. He said the old man disparaging. But Henry, were you there? Do you have a recording of what transpired in that meeting?
Okay, Ben O'Connor, we don't know if money was offered. Joe did not say money was offered. Here's the conversation. Joe said they get in a meeting, and right away the people say we got something to offer. We are
Yeah.
business people. Instead of talking business deal, they right away went and said, but before we even make a proposal of what we want to do, we want you to carry Henry Costa as your running mate.
Your own man.
That was where the whole meeting chakla in a
Yeah.
Liberian way. So, Henry Costa made his own $30 million figure.
Look, Volcano,
$30 million figure.
I'm sure you guys remember there was this rumor about, out of desperation for retaining the presidency of Liberia, the CDC was doing everything behind the scene to split the opposition. You heard about this $30 million thing here weeks. You and I, we heard about it weeks in advance.
Mhm.
So Henry just confirmed that. He just confirmed that. And Henry Costa, like I said earlier, let's look at your public record. What do you bring to this table that somebody out of their right mind will offer you $30 million? On what basis? Volcano? On what basis, Alphonso?
But here's the interesting thing: the preliminary of the meeting begins in room 3 or whatever he called.
Yeah, in Monrovia.
So you're telling me that these Ghanaian guys came to Monrovia and met with you,
Of course.
right, and gave you this story.
Yeah.
And you came to America, you brought Omen Baka, the woman was sick, you brought him after everything. The woman you told, the woman said, oh, you know what? I can't hold this secret. I gotta tell the
Like
old
I
man.
said, Omen,
And
Omen what happened.
agreed. Then they arranged the meeting to be in Ghana, and the old man went to Ghana. Listen, it was a meeting.
It was.
It was a meeting. You got business partner. We need to discuss the terms and agreement that will come out to. I mean, I'm going to go and listen. The man walks in the meeting. He meet Manneh with roach coat. He said, "Let me come. Let me just sit down and see." The first thing the man said, "Yeah, we
He's
want to
like,
speak to
"Bah,
you."
man,
But the man that said I just to be
Oh,
the
gotta,
coach
hold
then that
on.
on the market
Eva,
they gotta
Eva,
go with
Eva.
rose gold.
Don't spoil it again. Don't spoil it again. We got to dramatize it. We got to dramatize it.
forget.
No, no, no. We got to dramatize it. No, no, don't.
Say, man, I had a rose coat. Oh.
We got, I mean, I was in a close conversation last night. I told somebody,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, my man.
so
Yeah,
so the woman get to the hotel, knock on the door. The man is sitting in the hotel. You know, they
yeah,
got a hotel with a living room or a suite. It's a suite.
yeah,
Yeah,
sweet,
so
yeah.
sweet.
All about man.
So the man is sitting in the place. One, two of them had on dark shit. And you know when you see roach coat, it's flimsy, right? It's flimsy. It's not even dry cleaned.
The-
So they're sitting there.
Yeah,
And the woman coming, handshake, and he sits down. And Mr. Blackout, with all that people talk about him, he's a humble man.
oh
That
yeah,
I know,
very
that
humble.
I can
Yeah,
say. He's a humble
Very
man. He
humble.
carries himself
Very
very
humble
quiet.
man.
So he
Yeah.
sat there and he's an old man who listens. So the Ghana man say, Charlie, we bring you here now because we want to make an offer
yeah.
to
So we
you.
can make Henry.
Yeah. But we are business people. So the old man said, okay, so let's talk about what you want to talk about. Instead of saying we are business people, we want to bring investment if you win the presidency, they go there. They say,
Oh,
but the first thing we want for you to do, that your son, your nephew, Henry, we want you to make him vice a stand-up bearer with you. The Bible said, also that's why you brought me all the way from Liberia. You couldn't just call me on the phone and tell me now, all right, you know what? Henry, I'm my nephew. I can
yeah,
make that decision here now. When I get to Liberia, I will discuss it with the party, and that's it. So
yeah.
no money was discussed, no
No,
Wologizi was discussed. Just the fact that they threw Henry in the equation, the meeting was on. The Bible said,
yeah, but we say we ain't ready, man.
I
But
mean, use the
but but
Bible.
why Pape decided to stop the conversation when they threw Henry into the mix? And and it's a rhetorical question. I'm not
Yeah,
asking you to answer. So
Yeah,
the Pape could have heard, as Moses said, that this whole thing about CDC giving $30 million was
yeah.
in the
CDC
air way
operation,
before.
yeah,
So apparently, if it was in the air, apparently the Pape heard about it, that CDC were trying to put this money up to get a woman to pick Costa so he can then lose support and
of
lose the
course,
election. So
yeah,
apparently, when the people raised Costa in Ghana, he said, "Oh, that the thing I heard about that it coming happen." So
yeah,
apparently,
yeah,
again, this is an assumption
yeah,
that I was making, again, going by what Moses said. But something very interesting that Costa said in his press conference yesterday, that a lot of people are not picking up on, is exactly that, Moses and Volcano. Where
yeah.
Costa said that you said it was Sir Joseph. I thought it was Thomas Fowler. You said it was Sir Joseph.
It was you say yes,
That
you said
Costa
yeah.
mentioned that CDC Senator Sir Joseph, who is also from Lofa County,
Mhm.
pick up the phone and call old man Boakai
Yeah,
and say, we, the CDC people, have hashed this plan.
yeah,
Don't go by it. Don't take it. And then Costa is upset that the old man is listening to the CDC people and not him
hmm
who has been with him. But if this man who is within CDC can come to the old man, if that part is true, and say, old man, we put the arrangement together to undermine you. I'm aware of it. I'm from inside CDC, but I'm coming to you because you and myself from the same county, you and myself probably from the same tribe. We call you uncle. Don't take it and pinch the old man. According to Costa himself,
yeah.
that's what happened.
Let me say this quick, gentlemen. This pacemaker thing, and I like the fact Thomas Awachi made it
the unit parties, bro.
because right here, people think that when a person uses pacemaker, it means that they at the brink of dying.
Function, no,
Pacemaker is an instrument that helps you live the same way you have lived under any normal circumstance.
Mhm.
There are people who living with knee replacement and playing sports with it. There
Yeah.
are people who living with other parts on their body that have been repaired, and they living a healthy life. I spoke with a brother who uses a pacemaker, and what the pacemaker does is that in areas where the artery may not be able to pump the blood as it should,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pacemaker helps to normalize the situation and give that pump that blood.
Mhm.
And you can understand that a man like Joseph Boyka, who has come a long way eating palm butter, toboggi,
Yeah.
pepper toboggi, all those things, it impacts our,
Yeah.
blood vessels.
Mhm.
So of course, a pacemaker is only to help him, you know,
Yeah. To
he's
pick up whenever there's a
something,
decline. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and he's better off having a pacemaker than you and myself, who just
Of
on
course.
borrowed time.
Of
And let
course.
me
Yeah.
let
So
me just tell you quickly.
when people think that
Yeah.
pacemaker means that Braga is so ill to the point that he's
You
at the brink
dying.
of death, then you're mistaken. And Thomas, thanks for making that point, because I really wanted to share this, that
Yeah.
pacemaker
And let me add to what Thomas said.
is
And
not,
what
it's not
yeah.
something that leading you to
It's
death.
not, it don't mean you're dying. Exactly.
No.
And let me add to what Thomas and you all just said. Mike Pence, who's campaigning running around today, has a pacemaker. Has a
But there
pacemaker.
are there
Hold
are
on,
a
hold
lot
on,
of people
hold on,
in the
hold on,
world.
hold on,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Isaac Smith, my son is 23 years old. He's been living with a pacemaker since he was 4 years old.
See that?
He will continue to live with it for the rest of his life.
Yes.
See
But
that?
I'm sure this young man is living a fulfilling life.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. It's just as you and the gentleman said, if your heart beats slow or if it misses beats or rhythms, the pacemaker just there to keep it on pace.
Yeah. To keep it.
Again, Mike Pence, Trump vice president, who's running for president now, has a pacemaker.
Yeah.
Dick Cheney, who ran this country under George Bush, had a pacemaker. A pacemaker is simply a device that keeps your heart rhythm beating. It don't mean you
Yeah.
blink
Yeah.
and you're
It
coming
means
to
that you're
life.
dying tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's and to better simplify it, right? Like many of us who have homes with what we call sunk pumps in the basement. When the water table goes high, the purpose of the sump pump is that when the water table goes high, it has something like a tube in there. Once the water touches that, the sump pump goes off automatically. It start getting rid of the extra water. That's it's almost the same function of the pacemaker. When you have any little thing that will cause complication for you, it picks up right away. That's the purpose. So for people to be going around, oh, the old man will die next week, it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
It's the ignorance in our society, but we have to educate the people. But it's the ignorance in our society. They don't know.
So let me come back. Let me bring you guys back. Let's stay on track here.
Yeah.
So this thing that Costa has done, I know there are a lot of mixed opinion, mixed perception. Some people believing, some people not believing. Mapu Hoya, one of our stalwarts, is saying that everything that Henry P. Costa said about JMB, I believe Henry Costa. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's our
Mapu
opinion.
is your right. One of my men can say that your opinion. You can mold it, you can bowl it, you can smoke it, you
Yes,
can
okay.
half it.
Any desire, yeah.
He said,
But if Mapu could call in at some point or even type in and say why should believe Aaron Costa, because it's not just I believe. No, but why do you
I
believe?
see where you came on my came up, I'll vote for you, but no,
Yeah.
no reason why you voting. But
Yeah.
yeah, what I wanted to say, and I wanted to ask this question so we can talk about it. What does it do for these months heading to the elections? Do we see Henry Costa coming back with an extraordinary RCEP, further up RCEP that would dampen the process more? Joe Boyga has spoken, at least on the surface, to say yes, meeting was held, but all of these things never came about. In fact, we told Henry that he was not ready, because he brought his own proposition. And I'm sure it was Benani Ure that told the Peking, say, you know what? I could be the vice president to Baka because the ALP is strong. We got money. We can do XYZ. But I just won't be friend to the old man. So you go there and represent our party. Because in that press statement, he made mention how the Unity Party has sidelined them. They don't talk to, no
The,
one in the
yeah,
party.
Mr. Uri and all the other people. Yeah.
And in reliable conversation to this, it's true that yes, the old man caught Uri off because Uri is double standard.
Okay.
You were trying to do things outside of the will of their coalition. You understand me? So all these things happening, what do you think now that it would do for these next few months as we head down to October 10th? Do you think that Unity Party still stand as the number one opposition party to the CDC? Do you think that it pulls some crowd away from it and go to the ANC? Because what we're hearing, your man Uncle Pete made it seem as though he and Costa slept in the same room
You
and
see the mail gonna come and pronounce it.
they were going to ANC, but the man said nothing. But I'm just thinking, let's hear
Well,
from the council Moses, then you come.
yeah. Go ahead, Alfonso.
So yes, I don't think that the Costa statement is going to have any significant impact. I think it does more harm to Costa's credibility than even what if he intended to undermine Joe Boakai. Well, I don't think he accomplished that, or he will accomplish that much. I think what Boakai and his group inner circle need to do is to go ahead with their campaigns. And I think Boakai himself and or his vice president were should not respond to Heron Costa. The surrogates can do that. And I think
Oh,
Joseph
yeah.
Boakai Jr. just did a very good job
A
at that.
very good job on that.
If the old man himself is asked about it, or even on a camping stump, if I were him, if I were advising him, I would say,
I will provide some clarification
I'm
on that.
standing right here. My life is not in anybody's hand. It's in the hands of God, just like all of us. But I'm strong and I'm healthy and I'm here to fight for the Liberian people and to rescue you. I don't
Yeah.
know when I will die, just like you don't know when you will die, and nobody know when they will die. But no doctor told me I will die tomorrow or day after. I'm here. But the most important thing here is this, and continue, and the surrogates can respond. He should also repeat if he was the one that said it. He should also repeat. Look, Costa is my son. He's a young man. I forgive him. He made some mistakes. I forgive him. I move on. I will
Yeah.
focus on the prize.
Mhm.
Let the surrogates deal with, that those other aspects of it, because it's not worth it to go into a fight with somebody who's already down and will be swinging. My old man used to say, "Don't get in the mud." I'm not saying Costa is a pig, so it's just a phrase. Don't get in the mud with a pig. That's the pig's terrain. If you get in there, the pig comes out with mud on it. The pig's supposed to have mud on it. But you come out with mud over, you say, look at that dirty man. He come where you coming from, all the mud on him that footy man a dirty man. And the simple thing is you're taking back crazy man can't take the blanket from
Then
the
you run
that
behind the man.
bathroom in front of the outside bathroom door. Don't be running behind them because you know what? The crazy man get on closer. You came outside chasing that crazy man for that lap that you the naked man. You know, call crazy. So yeah.
You know, yeah. Excellent point, Alfonso. In journalism, we always say the media is the message. And this is where Henry Costa is rather going to struggle with. Over the year, Mr. Costa, his public record shows that he has come across as unpredictable, unreliable. He has some stuff in his closet. He supported Mr. Weir to the fullest. And what happened? They broke off because of what happened between them. So he went to this other person. He went to the other person. The Lake Cassell, he said he had a PR arrangement with the Lake Cassell. Okay, he broke that relationship, and because he said he wanted to support Ume Boaga. So if Mr. Costa is so unreliable, undependable,
But after he took money from the man, though.
yeah, he took 40 G. And,
Wow.
yeah, that's why we heard. I think he himself said it that he had a contract for $40,000. You know,
And he got
so
5G or the 40.
yeah, so whatever what the question most people will ask now is, but who is Henry Costa?
Exactly.
And this is where I agree with you, Alfonso. Uh, if the old man chooses to go, toe to toe, he will be elevating Henry Costa. And you
Absolutely.
don't want to put Henry Costa on a pedestal. Do you know what it means for someone who served as vice president to mount the podium and go toe to toe with Henry Costa? That would be a huge elevation. And that's what Henry Costa is seeking. So let the old man communication people and other surrogates handle that. Let them deal with Henry. And
All right. So,
once in a while, when he's in the public, he's campaigning, he said, look, Henry is my son. I forgive Henry. Look, this is a trying
let
time.
me move on this part.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
Do you think that what Henry Costa said are truth? Because
That way,
everybody saying, yeah, the man said the truth. The man said the truth. So what are some of the truth here? Let's go back to let's take out some of the media of this truth that people are continuing.
talking about.
Oh yes, the man said the truth. The man said the truth. By the way, if you just joining us, we're in the issues room here. We are the alternative social media platform that emanated out of Liberia, discussing the things that matter. We enlighten. We discuss Liberia. We discuss Africa, and we discuss the diaspora of Black people. So we encourage you to join us Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Volcano Shelton here, Moses Sandy, and Alphonso Yeno. Our guest tonight will have been McLean Randall. He came in briefly, but I believe he's had serious internet issues in Liberia, even though they said they have fiber optic. But I don't know what's going on. The young man
It
couldn't come.
means in we as Liberia, my
He
man.
started briefly, and then everything just went on, and he has not been back. But we hope we will catch him another time to bring him in, maybe by audio rather than video. But honestly, we want to look at this issue of Henry Costa telling the truth. So let's talk about the truth. The truth here, a meeting was held in Ghana.
Yeah.
Infinitesimal.
Yeah.
It's
His
a
son even
significant
admitted that.
part
Yeah.
of everything. The meeting was orchestrated, right, Alfonso? We can
hmm
tell that it was orchestrated.
Yeah.
It was orchestrated. And so the old man, being an old man and of wisdom, said, you know what? You can turn down conversation
You can't turn
or
down a
you can
call.
turn
Yeah.
opportunity. Let
hmm
me go and see what's in it. All right. He has some trust in Henry. And I'm sure Henry, on the other hand, has some trust in Boyka. But the fact that Henry trust was more for himself is about what he wants and what he wants to achieve. So we know a meeting was held. But do you think that in that meeting, $30 million came out in the conversation? And and if $30 million came out in the conversation, why didn't they get even a minute portion of the $30 million? Because
hmm
I'm not going to Ghana and walk away with at least not 5 million, and we're in the
hmm
campaign season.
hmm
Something has to give,
Yep.
right? Something has to
Yeah.
give. So if
hmm
really money was there, why didn't they come back with small thing? Let's put it out with Librarian with small thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the truth here?
Yeah. So exactly the points you're making, Volcano. So let's begin from the beginning. So these people reached out to Henry Costa and said, "We want you to run for president. We got $30 million to get you." Did they ask Henry Costa, "We'll give you $30 million so you can run for president"? And then he turned it down and said, "No, I don't want it. I want support, but I gotta give it a go ahead, go ahead."
And I and I wanted it just hit me in the head like a
Yeah,
brick.
yeah,
So Henry Costa gets the call. We're
yeah,
going to give you $30 million. We think you can be a president.
yeah,
So we got this money to give you. Henry Costa
yeah.
will say that he would take 30 million and turn it down because of Joseph Waka,
Yeah.
Henry Costa, who wants to be in the limelight of leadership in the country. You give Henry Costa $30 million, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. He's declaring his presidency the next day.
Yep.
He's running. He's running one of the most robust campaign in the country.
Yep.
He will be riding around in Escalade.
He would take.
Escalade.
He would get helicopter and fly the country to
Right.
reach
I'm
everywhere.
not sure that even he would have turned $30 million down to begin with in the conversation,
Yeah.
knowing this
Yeah.
young man has
Yeah.
insatiable taste for money. And no
also
amount of money
knowing,
is so big.
and
So
also knowing,
$30 million is hitting the jackpot.
yes.
So let's start from there.
Let's start from there. That's the beginning.
Yeah.
And let's look at. I mean, I don't want to go into how he's living and the GoFundMe and all of that because I don't have any evidence about that. But somebody calls me and says, we want to give you $30 million so you can run for president. He turns it down, say, I don't want the $30 million. Give it to Joseph Boakai. I will call Joseph Boakai so you can meet with him. But in that meeting, ask Joseph Boakai to make me vice presidential candidate. There's something missing right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's something missing. I don't want to be
Oh,
president.
no. So the people say, okay, we'll come back to you. And then he
Yeah.
say, he told the woman and they were waiting to hear back. But the
Mhm.
woman rushed and told Boakai. And
Yeah.
then he and Boakai had decided. When
Yeah.
Boakai said, but that is the thing. We need money for the campaign. So
Yeah.
if it's anything through you, they said through crayfish, drink water. So
Mhm.
if you're gonna get $30 million and you're willing to make me in the front face, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Then he said, okay, we'll hear from the people. At some point, we'll have to go to Ghana. You
Mhm.
ready listening to this crap?
Yeah.
Henry Costa, they show you $30 million. They gave you the assurance, rather, that you
Mhm.
get $30 million. You say, oh, I'm loyal to Joe Boakai.
Yeah.
What $30 million is?
The other missing piece there is when they told him they were getting 30 million to make him president.
Yeah.
What was the reason they gave him? And did they ask him for anything? He said Boakai offered Wologesi. Why did he offer to them? Because these are business people. They just bring that 10 million and say, take it for free and go be president, and we want nothing from you. That's also difficult to believe. So let him tell us what the discussion was between him and these people, these so-called funders who said they were getting 30 million. Did they ask him for anything in return? He hasn't mentioned that. That's a critical piece that's absent right there. Because again, the believability that somebody will just bring 30 million to Henry Costa, who has no bearing on Liberian politics, who is a very long shot in terms of becoming president. Anybody who follow Liberia know that Henry Costa is not one of the people who has the potential of becoming president in these elections. What is his base? What is his constituency? The future Dream Monrovia, who were behind him on his COP.
Mm-hmm.
Can Henry Costa go to Bon County and win there? Can Henry Costa go to Magibi? Can Henry Costa go to Lofa? Can Henry Costa go to Nimba, Grand Jita, Sino, and win there? So who did the analysis to say somehow Henry Costa can win presidency in Liberia, so we're getting $30 million? And were they giving that $30 million free of charge?
River says, bro, when you guys come in the issues room so late, they play catch up. Don't come here and throw monkey wrench in the conversation. Say we're advocating for unity party these days. No, we are not. We're not allowed to any political party. We're looking at the issues here and discussing the issues and trying to dissect the issues, take the meat away, take the lies away, that it makes sense. You and I know that in today, if I were the one who's sitting there and been dreaming about the presidency as is Henry Costa, and somebody comes to me and say they can give me $30 million to run as president, I don't give a damn about Joe Boakai. I don't give a damn about whoever. I am going in the race
I gotta
because Henry
go.
Costa is his own and he can hold his own. I believe that the brother is able to convince the Liberian people to a greater extent.
Persuasive speaker, yeah.
He's very charismatic. He's very persuasive. Why would he then renege to Joe Boakai, who he claims to be very broke and has money problem? You think about it. You know
Yeah.
what $10 million is? That's the question that many of you not even, you just sit there and just run with these kind of stories and then
Yeah.
take believability in it.
Our
You know
people are very
Hello,
gullible. So who was
gentlemen.
going finally? And
Yeah.
Riverside Pro, Moses, sorry,
Yeah.
Riverside Pro, instead of just saying I believe or not true, you have an opportunity to write in there and in facts or something you have to make your point. Now, finish Moses, and I will go to the point of the surgery in the so-called surgery that was supposed to take place in Minnesota. I wonder who are going to pay for that surgery.
No,
Because Mm,
Henry said that at the old man's request,
mhm,
he made all these medical appointments.
uh-huh,
Everything was set. So I don't know whether he made a payment.
uh-huh.
Stop.
That's what he
Stop again.
alleged.
Stop again.
Yeah.
Riverside Pro. The man's son came out. Again, go push your cartoon up again. When you get ready to come in the issue room, you come and let's join the conversation from the beginning. Like, listen, the man's son, we just play his son.
We
His
just played old man's song.
whole conversation about any business concession or anything. They didn't even get to that. Nothing of that kind to sell Wologisi Mountain. So Baga, are you going to rule out Wologisi and carry it to the business people?
Yeah, so you become
All,
president, you are
all
going to be
Wologisi,
George
the
Weah.
people who
Yeah.
have gone through concession. You think we'll sit there in the issues room and Baga will mortgage if you were president and mortgage the Wologisi? Wologisi had to go, there will be bidders. It has to go through the
Yeah,
concession.
process.
And
It
the
goes to the
legislature
legislature.
under
All
the
of that. Yeah.
You
legislature.
stop that kind of crap, my man. You're supposed to be sound people now. You're in America. You're starting. You'll be good critical thinkers. I just wanted to throw this out here. So Wologisi or no Wologisi, nobody can get our mountain to anybody.
No.
Nobody. They got a process to get that mountain to go. Except the house will be corrupt. That's why we said we want to change the status quo. We want to have representatives and senators who will look up for the people in the country. So Bwaka alone, if he had agreed to get Wologisi, think about it. Who would take how he
It's a
would get
process.
Wologisi?
Yeah, it's a
Go
process.
ahead, gentlemen.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, I even said it earlier. Unfortunately, Mr. Costa fell for the CDC ploy. The whole thing about the $30 million thing is a ploy that was created by the CDC to split the opposition.
Allegedly. Let's put it that way. Let use
I
the word.
mean,
Let's use
based, okay, allegedly, created by, yeah, okay, let me use that. This is a ploy that was reportedly allegedly, put in place by the ruling party to ensure that the unity that once existed in the opposition camp, that unity is dissipated. That's the whole objective. You can see the level of desperation. When Henry Costa declared to be a senatorial candidate, Mr. Sir Joseph, the current senator for Monterey County, who is running for re-election, panicked. I mean, let's give it to Henry. He's a popular young man. Uh, there are a lot of people who believe in him too, but that created a panic for the CDC. They said, well, they don't think he took it. If we allow Henry to come and take it, we finish. When they saw the momentum, and Volcano, I have said this repeatedly, the race is between two candidates. The presidential race is between two candidates, Joseph Boakai and George Weah. And Mr. Weah, because of the terrible records of the CDC, right now, George Weah and the CDC folks are not getting regular sleep. They are jittery. They are afraid that they may end up losing. So they will do everything they can to go, I mean, for Mr. Weah to be re-elected. So the whole $30 million thing, it was something that was put together.
Moses, let me just remind people we'll open the line right now. So just call if you can. Call the number 404-272-2808. 404-272-2808. I know some of you want to call call and engage the issues room panelists here tonight. Please, 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 let's be civil, let's be professional as always. We'll take your call, we'll discuss the issues, we'll hear your points of views. We're not here to cast blame or anything. We want to get to the bottom of this, but at the same time, we can look at the situation and do our own, discernment. We have to be perspicacious with what is happening. We can't just run with these kinds of things because they you know whether you like it or not, I know the nature of people having to be pejorative of these kinds of things, showing strong disapproval and this and that. The absolute truth here is that's why we can look at the matter and discern. If you cannot be perspicacious, as I said, then that's on you. But everything that a person presents, we can find some degree of flaws and we can find some degree of truth. We can find some degree of facts. So the line is open 404-272-2808. Call. Let's hear from you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it's so like I was saying, it's a gimmick by the CDC. There's a lot. Let's throw some change out there. Let's call Henry in. Let's try to go through some people claiming to be business people. And when they went, they threw the bait. Henry fell for the bait. He took the news, he ran with it.
All right, there we go. Somebody's calling.
He ran with it.
Moses?
Yeah.
The caller
I'll pause there.
The caller from 5086, you're live. Go ahead. The caller from
Suleiman.
5086. Go ahead.
Yeah, aka Liberia. Thanks for the discussion, guys. I think you guys are, doing justice to the topic. Another angle I want you guys to look at is that Joseph Boakai is of an advanced age, and Henry Costa sees this emerge as a perfect opportunity that this man may not even finish, his first term. Not that he's sick, but he might want to rest.
Oh my brother. Hold my brother. Let me just put this guy in queue quick. Just one
Can you
second.
hear me?
Yeah, just hold. Rivers S Pro, you are in queue. I will come back to you. Hold the line. Rivers S Pro, hold the line. I'll come back to you. Go ahead, Liberia. Go ahead. Liberia, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I said, Henry Costa saw this, because of his desperation, he saw this as the perfect opportunity to, like it's called the coattail effect in America. He's going to ride his papa's coattail, to the presidency. I'm telling you, I mean, the level of desperation is just unbelievable, So that's another way I want us to look at it. Besides, it could have been employers from the CDC, but it also could have been something hatched within the Ure clan, Everybody is jostling for position. And he's looking at it that Jeremiah Kun, who came from nowhere, according to him, is going to reap the benefits. Because come what may, if Joseph Boakai becomes president in 3-4 years, Kun is going to be president.
But I think let's put this in perspective. Kun brings more to the table than Henry Costa.
Absolutely.
Kun brings Kun brings millions to the table. Costa brings nothing to the table except eloquence, charisma, put it that way. And that's about it. What else?
And I'm so happy that you are one of the few people who has mentioned what Kun brings. Kun is the quintessential Liberian story. Somebody who was selling tablet and king juice to actually make millions in Liberia. Millions of you. It's just commendable. That's somebody we should be talking about. Rhetoric is not going to put food on the table. But anyway, thanks for the topic, and I hope my man Moses can wear his hat so he can be more
But now wear my hat the next time.
Thank you. River says Pro, my brother, long time. Welcome to the issues room. River says Pro, can you hear us?
Yeah. Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud. Come on, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Volcano. Thank you, Moses. Thank you to our guest. As much as we want to judge our government to be removed, we need to be very cautious how we do about things. Costa said a lot of things that I would not dismiss. looking at Joseph Walker's track record, especially when it comes to, or when it came to his selection of the vice president, VP, his VP, one of Costa's point was the reason he leaving because of Prince Johnson. And this is something we're not discussing. Prince Johnson was one of his key reasons of leaving because
you wanna hear this? You wanna hear this quick? Maybe you joined the conversation late. We dealt with that. How about Benoni Ure who was on sanction? How about Benoni Ure that stole millions of dollars? I'm coming. Hold on. How about Benoni Ure that stole millions of dollars from Liberia, even in the heyday when there was no structured government under Charles Taylor? Took our maritime money to become a millionaire today. Wasn't he on sanction? Isn't it the same man that Henry Costa sees as his godfather? Has he separated from Benoni Ure?
He celebrates him.
Exactly, that's the point. Most of the Bible says she will continue to sin, so grace may abound for those who want to care. So, okay, Paul said that, so she will continue to sin. Okay, just because grace is there, so we should continue to sin because we get grace. Just because Benoni Ure was there. So, I mean, is that the future you guys want for the country? Like every time we're going to go back and say, okay, that person did it.
Are you saying that Jeremiah Kum does not have a stake in the matter in Liberia? Are you saying that Prince Johnson doesn't have a stake in the matter in Liberia? Are you saying that these people they should be completely ostracized from the Liberian politics? It comes with the territory. It comes with the country. Listen, the voters are the ones who make these decisions. In as much as we throw the enlightenment, in as much as we talk all of this, there's nothing you can say here that will change their minds if their minds are made up. All we can do is to create a conversation. But we can't always look at negative and try to turn it positive. But let me add this caller in queue and come right back to you so you can finish up your point.
Okay.
The caller from Pennsylvania, 8123. Hello, caller. Caller, are you there? 8123.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, can you hold? I'll come right back to you. Let the previous caller make his last point quick, okay? I'll come right back to you. I don't know where this grounding coming from. Reverse Pro, go ahead, make your last point.
Yeah. Let me answer. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go right ahead. You're good.
Okay, so you see that's another thing when you say, oh, the voters. So the reason issue room is here is to highlight those issues. People
that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, my brother.
Yeah, exactly. So you can say, oh, the voters. No. This is the reason you need to highlight things. This man is essentially. This man recently was denied access to a particular government position. I think it was an armed service committee because of this thing session. This thing needs to be highlighted instead of saying, "Oh, the voters." I mean, they want the essence of issue and other credible, media institution out there. So this thing is a responsibility of all of you guys to highlight these issues. So we can just take the Georgia issue and run away, and then we got a future government. We're looking for sustainability. We want a government. We're not just looking for quick fix. We don't want to remove Georgia.
President Pro, may I ask you a very quick question? So
I left George here.
He's not hearing me, I guess.
I'm with King Alexander Cummings because I believe he's the best. He's the best alternative to Georgia. So this is, this is my point. We are not looking for quick fix. So, I mean, thank you very much for having me. I got short time to go push my cartoon, but you're doing a great job. But seriously,
thank you. Listen, we'll continue to advocate. We'll continue to enlighten. We'll continue to do what we do.
Tell comments to look in your backyard.
Not everyone gonna, So you want to talk about you supporting coming? Say,
come in, low in your backyard.
Everybody got baggage, my brother. Let's leave that one. My son sitting there, I got baggage. Let's go to the caller from Pennsylvania. 8123 caller, you live. Your name?
Yeah, this is Morris, customer from Pennsylvania.
It's a pleasure having you. Welcome. You're following the show. I seen you chime in a little bit. Tell us what's your perspective.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank you guys for the way you guys actually discussing, and thanks to Alphonso. And let me just say this, right? Alphonso says something very, very important. There's a public perception about Costa, and that public perception is that Costa is very inconsistent. Costa is not trustworthy, And these ANC guys, for them, they just feel that Joe Barker. They are in competition with Joe Barker because here is Riverside Pro. He's agreeing with Costa what Costa said. But they same Costa man say a whole lot of things about coming. And you talking about Costa, talking about the Prince faction. Costa, I not even know that 2017, the political father, Bernard Ure, went into an arrangement with Prince Johnson to go as a running mate. Costa didn't know that. Or Riverside Pro now remember that 2017. When that arrangement break up, you know, the ANC guys are just all over it for them to feel that Baka, Baka is a threat to them. You know, but thanks to you guys, man. I really admire the analysis that you guys do. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as a matter of fact, Cummings, this very Cummings actually asked this very Jeremiah Cohn to run as a vice president.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Mhm.
So what are we talking
I
about
mean,
here?
you know, and why these people continue to make this thing seem as though
Yeah.
all of the candidates will come from heaven.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Everyone is participating in the rain. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Liberian politics is the rain. Once you step into it, you get wet.
Of course.
That's Liberian politics. So everyone comes with something.
Something on
Everyone
there,
comes with
man.
a skin. Everyone comes with good character. Everyone comes. It has to be melting in the context of the good, the bad, and the ugly. We must coexist. We must transform. And we can't transform with only the pure in heart. We must transform even with the evil people, you know, getting to be what I would consider repented based on the good in the good people who bring them on board.
Yeah.
Because when they see good in the good people, they will emulate. There's no way, I can tell you, there's no way that we can progress as a nation if we remain divided in our principles, in our ideology, in the family relationship, in our citizenry, that this one is more citizen than this. It's not possible. It is not possible. So we got to stop this, because instead of looking at the issues, like I said, these politicians and the surrogates and the people, the pundits, the people who are within the camps are not looking at the issues. They continue to look for things that don't make sense, things that will not even elevate the country in any way, shape, form, or size. And so that is why we are where we are. We're stuck in a quicksand. We need to forget about the personal character assassination and discuss the issues. Where we align on one agenda, we will have shrunk all of these political candidates if we are aligned on one agenda. And we can see that those agendas are all comparable, but it's the greed. It is the greed. And some people want to cut the political line. And Henry Costa is aspiring to cut the political line. That is why he infused himself in the equation to make it seem so believable that he was to be a vice presidential candidate. You understand me? Because he didn't get. Let me go to the line and take this caller quick. The caller from Rhode Island, 8737. You're in the Issues Room live. Welcome. Your name?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, it's me, Flomo Livingston.
Welcome, my brother. How you doing tonight?
Good, man. Great show, man. Man, that's why I love the issue room, man. You guys speak to the truth. I mean, speak to the issue. Like you don't pick a side, and that's one of the reasons why I always follow the show.
Thank you.
I mean, again, the whole thing about the whole Henry Costa is, I mean, you guys played the video of the former vice president's son.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, Volcano went off.
Back and forth.
Okay.
And it's not work there, man. They will distract the former vice president from his focus. Again, I mean, only the ANC post believing in whatever Henry Costa said. For me, I don't believe whatever he said. There was no $30 million mentioned. There was no Wologizi anything mentioned in our recording. So I don't know where Henry Costa getting his information from. Again, that led to Henry Costa. The man, since Henry Costa said President we are calling, man, I start losing hope in that guy. New stream, you're gonna. There was something. Once President we are calling, I knew Henry Costa will offer something. And you guys already, I mean, speak to the issue. I mean, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. We appreciate
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I just I got a cramp, my man. I hit my.
Oh, okay.
You know, when you sit so long and
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Moses, if you want to come in.
No, go ahead.
All right. So as you say, a lot of the times, and it's unfortunate, and I guess that's part of the reason what we need to do. People hear things and they don't do a lot of analysis, they don't ask questions, and they just accept it.
Yeah.
And I think we do a good job making a difference here, of
Yeah.
analyzing everything here. So let's talk about the Prince Johnson factor. Jeremiah Kuhn came up about a month or two ago, right after Boakai picked him, that Cummings asked him to be his running mate.
Mhm.
I wonder where was the Prince Johnson factor at that time? Or did the Cummings people
When the
not know
ANC people are
of the
running.
Prince Johnson factor? You know.
And
So,
interestingly, the ANC people did not deny it.
yeah,
No.
they've never never denied it. He said they went for months, and then he finally told them that no, I will not accept I will run with Boakai. I think Boakai has a better chance. They have not denied that. So
No.
where was that Prince Johnson factor? Because Prince Johnson had been sanctioned then. Prince Johnson had already fought in a war then.
Mhm.
So where did this whole thing? Where was this whole thing? So again, it's another double standard.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I really hesitate to hold Mr. Jeremiah Kuhn responsible or accountable for any abuses that Prince Johnson could have committed.
Of course.
Prince Johnson is a completely different human being. Jeremiah Kuhn is a completely different human being. We cannot hold people accountable for crimes because they associate with this person, particularly so in a political party. You don't see this man holding Prince Johnson man walking around. The thing is, they're in a political party together, and what that does, or what that is guilt by association.
Yeah.
Is collective guilt, and that
And it's
is
just not
wrong.
good.
And we saw what that brought to Liberia and to us
Oh yeah.
when there was collective guilt under the Doe government. Guiamano people got killed because they were Guiamano people, and some Guiamano people did some things, so they went after them. That is same Guiamano people.
Yeah.
When the war came,
I just want to quickly add that we're wrapping this up in 5 minutes so we can
yeah, okay,
that segment.
yep.
Mhm.
Crown people, Mandingo people, of the different tribes got killed not because of what the individuals who were victimized did, but because of collective guilt. We have to be mindful here how we apply it, because it's wrong. It's morally wrong. It's legally wrong, and it can just put us into more and more trouble. Let go after Prince Johnson, other people who committed a crime. Let leave the people who were associated or know them.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you that we need to look at the issues what these people are bringing to the table instead of uh, transferring crime. And under the laws, crimes are not transferable. For the fact that Alfonso is my friend, if I committed a crime, they're not going to hold Alfonso, responsible for what I did. We may be living in the same home, but I committed a crime, so the law is going to deal with me. So whatever Prince Johnson did, nobody should say, "Oh well," for the fact that Mr. Combs was selected as a running mate to the former vice president, it means that Prince Johnson is not off the hook. No, the law will take a course. You see. So on this issue, my any statement on this issue of Volcano would be that what Henry did yesterday, you know, uh, was ill conceived, and he's going to suffer. He's going to suffer for years. It has caused him more problem than expected. A lot of people will not do business with him.
I would say quickly, just before we go to the next segment, is that that's the immaturity of young people who want to advance too quick.
Mhm.
Because certain things you just gotta keep the lid on. Not everything. This old man trusted himself with you, even when you insulted him at certain point in the previous campaign, call him a poo poo pot.
Yeah.
He can never be president. And I was so amazed that how he became the voice
friend.
of Mr.
Yeah.
Boyka, the closest ally of Mr. Boyka. But again, Mr. Boyka being a deacon for all his life, I would say, He
Yeah.
probably has a forgiving spirit, and he
He let her
decided that
go.
he could work with this young man because he saw some values in him. He's eloquent, he's charismatic, he can be used for that purpose. But when it comes to the vice presidency, Mr. Costa brings nothing to the table.
Of
We
course.
talk about politics being number, we talk about politics being the money. You don't have those things. So why are you so bent on? Why don't you come into the public sector, find a job first in government, uh, or go in the Senate, or go somewhere? Come to the public sector. There's no track record of any work that Henry has done in the public sector, but yet you want to be
All
vice
right.
president. A man who is Alexander Cummings, who has years of experience in the private sector, where the Liberian people are still questioning his private sector experience as it will be translated into the public sector. Then how about you, Mr. Costa, who has no right private or public sector experience
No.
at an aggregate enough for the vice presidency, but you don't have the voting population. We don't even know where you come from. You say you're from the Congo settlement across the we call it upriver. How much people you bringing from upriver? How much people that you want to come from? So that the thing you got around that would make the
Yeah. And
that,
the COP people,
but the COP people made a press statement today. They said
yeah, they expel him. They
the
expel him
experiment.
from the COP.
So,
Yeah.
so things gonna get bad for Mr. Costa.
Yeah.
I say, and I would say that he didn't act humble. He
No.
could have said some things. He did say that man couldn't talk all in the beginning. He should have kept to that mantra that men don't talk all. And all that he said are still questionable.
Yeah.
There's not everything there that would quiver my liver, the people say, that I will have to believe. Alfonso, there's not everything there. So he tried to talk all, but he talked the wrong all. That's how I put it. That's how I put it. Men can talk
Yeah.
all, but the
Eh,
men can talk
Just
all.
started metal. Oh my man. And catch up with the man, my man.
So, gentlemen, let's go into memory lane. Dr. Manneh Sumo wrote something here. This one is going to
Yeah.
be good to our
Yeah.
many people out here tonight. This one by Dr. Manneh Sumo, memory lane, titled "A Famous Monrovia Location, 99 Steps."
Yeah.
The title is "A Famous Monrovia Location, 99 Steps."
I tell you, my man.
Am I reading? By that
Oh yeah.
time, Liberia was sweet. By the mid of the 1950s to the early 1960s, most people from the hinterland of Liberia, and most especially people from Sierra Leone, had moved to the city of Monrovia.
Mhm.
One of the most popular among the newcomers was a lady from Sierra Leone known as Caroline. Caroline was a very beautiful and good looking woman who made her living by prostitution.
Hmm.
She wrote and spoke English very well. She created ties with the elite men of the day. She had lots of male and female followers. Caroline was also a known smoker of marijuana, and so the Liberian people began to refer to her as Marijuana Caro, the short for Caroline. Caroline settled in a community that used to be called Monday. Monday was the community starting from the end of Center Street and stretching to Front Street down the waterfront.
Hmm.
Waterfront was later named Waterside, and Monday was then renamed 99 Steps. The community was called Monday because those days Waterfront, now Waterside, was where the Syrians and Lebanese businessmen, including Henry Boemer Famulé Sr., used to operate passenger boats that took passengers and their goods to the marketplaces in White Plains, Millsburg, and Robertsport. And because the most popular market day was on Monday, so the community was named Monday. 99 Steps was the first place to find women young and old for fun and pleasure. In the early 1970s, it also had the Lofa parking station. During those days, 99 Step was not a place to fool around. It was the community where the top criminals stay and no police dare fool around to arrest. It was the community that housed prostitutes, drugs, and criminals. But why 99 steps? The number 99 represents the angel's number of nine. So 99 is a double angel number. 99 is said to be a powerful symbol of destiny, completion, and perfection. 99 is also rather is often associated with the achievement of goals, and it can be also indicated that an important thing is coming to an end. They say 99 day for rogue and 1 day for master.
Yeah.
As you read earlier, Caroline, aka Carol, and her followers were seeking greener pastures. They had hoped leaving the native land of Sierra Leone and coming to Liberia to make a better living. So they named their community 99 Steps. In numerology, the attributes of the number 99 are associated with the completion of cycles. Many thanks to Faliku Konen for introducing this piece of Liberian history. So Manneh is probably picking up the history and
Yeah.
writing it up, and that is why we had 99 steps. So anyone who remember 99 step, that's the history. That era used to be called Monday because it was then the waterfront and it was a business day for the Lebanese Indians and H. Burma Family Senior, and they used to use the boat to carry the people down river
Yeah.
in up river, Millsburg and White Plains and so forth. But good history here. So in all my upbringing, I knew of 99 Step.
Yeah.
I never ventured there, but I know that you come from the bottom and you climb right in the back of CWA
Yeah. And go down.
to where what you call Justice Ministry is in that area. So
Yeah. They used to have parking stations and all around there.
and I think the 99 step, meaning that from that bottom to climb to the top,
Yeah.
to get up to Ashmore Street,
Yeah. Climb up that hill there, and that's where prostitution was very prevalent.
Yeah.
You know, as I listened to this piece, I was just reminded about Liberia's social problem. Can you imagine Volcano? We're talking about the 70s, the 60s, and when this 99 step was very
Moses,
popular. Yeah,
Moses, it was
yeah,
contained. 99 step. You would never,
yeah.
you would not
That
find,
where, yeah, that where the people went and did
yeah,
their
you,
thing.
would- you
Yeah, you
wouldn't
know.
find harlots and ghettos and stuff in Pinsville, in Congo Town, in those places. You will find maybe somebody selling small weed that the police will kind of raid, but that area was you have those kinds of places everywhere in the world. You have the red light district in the Netherlands. You have the strip in Vegas. You have those kinds of places, but they
They
continue.
gone there, yeah.
Today in Liberia, it's everywhere. Every community is polarized with ghettos and drugs and prostitution everywhere.
Because
I
you have no system, Volcano.
to throw that.
Yeah, no, just buttressing the point you're making.
See what I mean? You see,
Yeah, comparatively, you have no system. He said my hustle over there before. My son also over there before.
tax
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Those boys, those single men used to go to 99 steps those days, to help themselves. You see, so we have to do a lot of work around that. We have to do a lot of work on helping our destitute sisters and brothers, the quote unquote Zogo, the disadvantaged youth in the country. These people need a lot of help. And let me join you in saying thank you to Dr. Sumo for this great job.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
I didn't get the time to go cue our theme, but it's time for what type of country is this?
Mhm.
And we have a lot of people here. We hope that you can get what we call initiated tonight. So, what type of country is this? That a young man is so desperate to be vice president in Liberia that he concoct $30 million story, but the man left money. He didn't get the $30 million for himself. so he can declare presidency and he want to be
Exactly.
to the top. What type of country is this, Moses?
Yeah, that's it. What type of country is this? That someone who was not selected as VP is so desperate to the point that he say, "Hey, I have to do everything to destroy this campaign." What type of country is this?
What type of country is this that a man who tell you are destroying somebody really shot himself in the leg? I was actually talking to one of the ladies who claimed that they were the one have been bankrolling him
Mhm.
yesterday. That she and her friends have decided to stop funding him.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Then so the man start losing clients right
Is
away.
This how I work. I send my money. We send our money. We support him in this country. See, that's when I first even heard that he hasn't been working. He said, "Man, I'm in the country. We didn't want to support him and pay his mortgage and do all of that. Then he wants
Can
to
you
do that
imagine that?
nonsense. We're
Can you
putting our support away from him." I said,
okay,
"Wow,
can you imagine that then you
yeah,
want to ascend to the vice presidency? You have
yeah,
not worked. In fact, you're in the most civilized nation on the face of the earth.
yeah,
The most rather most
They're the most developed,
I mean
civilized.
most opportunity that can be provided to you.
Yeah.
And you've never held a job, but you want to be the vice president of the first republic in the world. I mean,
In Africa.
on the continent, and the second republic in the world next to Haiti.
Yeah.
You for real?
Yeah.
Why are we so disingenuous?
Mamela Labrono Balova.
Why we so, you know? So let's hear from my man Shaggy McCaffrey hashtag. What type of country is this? The poster said, "Man can talk all, but yet he talked all and hurt himself."
Yes. What type of country is this? Man can
Also,
tell.
what type of country is this? Where a known hustler would turn down $30 million. A known hustler. Eh?
So Henry Costa, nobody believes you, my man.
What type of country is this, Plumber Livingstone? That a 40-year-old man who lives in America but never worked in his life.
Yeah, what type of country?
What type of country is this, Thomas Awadi? Where a man who never worked an entry-level job but wants to be the vice president of a whole country. Don't say country, I'll put a whole there.
Oh,
A whole country. Entry-level
What type
job.
of country?
Entry
Yeah.
level. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this?
What type of country is Liberia, man?
Someone who has had no career path, who has had no work history, want to be VP at all costs. What type of country is this?
Somebody argued with me one time and said, "Oh, but the man will run your own radio station." Yeah, that business. There's a difference in being accountable to somebody.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I'm accountable to somebody. I'm accountable to an institution. If I open my own business, however I run it,
Yeah, I may decide later on and sleep all
and
day.
see, that work experience there. I work it for myself, but that's not a work experience. I'm not held to standards. I'm
Yeah,
not held
no.
to policies.
Oh,
Why people miss this thing?
you know, what type of country is this? You look at the man resume, my man, you can't find no work history. Oh. They say, I'm a man, VP at all costs.
What type of country is this? Shaggy McCaffrey. The Costa who loves things, willing to talk to George Weah to get his radio station equipment back and have his station open, but declines $30 million because he loves Joe Barker. But 2 months later, hits Joe Barker. Is $30 million
Available now?
available now?
That's the question.
What country is this? Liberia, where the VP position can be a first job.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? I like that.
but you know, Volcano?
You never work in your life, then you right away the VP position coming to be your first job. Oh.
Yeah.
yeah."
So Volcano, right? The question that everybody asking now, the man has several tie with the former vice president. Is the $30 million going to be available now so he can launch a campaign as presidential candidate?
That's a very good question. That's a very good perspective.
Yeah.
To look at
yeah. This time you're a free agent now.
Yeah, you can go back
Walker, you can do anything you want to do now.
Him,
Yeah. So whether the 30 million will be available is another question. But the speculation out there is he's going to announce that he's running for president. That's the speculation.
Yeah, you know.
But let's see if he can get the 30 million.
Mr. Costa, is the $30 million available now?
I mean that's a good one. Because the people came to you in our room 3 or whatever, Royal Hotel.
Yeah.
Hey, my man, we want you to be president. We see the Liberian presidency rating all over you.
Yeah.
All over you. So, you know what you do?
Run.
We got $30 million here to give to you. That money you got to pay us back. When you win, we'll discuss terms and condition.
Yeah.
But we want you to go.
Mm-hmm.
So you turn it down. You say you want to use Omen. The Omen go there. Omen say no. They didn't.
No,
Go back to your people now and say, listen.
He said, my man, a free agent, oh.
Yeah. Right now, the Liberian
That
people.
money you promised me before you bring it.
Yeah. Liberian people say a lie. So for me to clean my face, you bring the $30 million. Let me go now. Go declare my candidacy.
The first thing I'm going to buy 100 pickups.
Whatever country is this, Alexander Hayes? The baby has not grown tooth, but won't sell Wologisi Mountain.
Wow. Whatever country is this,
Whatever country is this, Lomo Livingston? The Herod Costa says the massive behind him, but can't bring 100 people together. Whatever country is this? Manneh Sumo, whatever country is this? When asked, call Pele man discussing his uncle like this. Whatever country is this?
Yeah,
because I mean, to be honest with you, I think the young man went too far.
No, he went too far.
He went too far.
It was very embarrassing. Yeah.
Was it necessary?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, the Pickens, okay, and I'll call him Pickens because he's my Pickens.
No, the man
come from a background where if he grew up in a settlement, he should know what to call keep at his lip, keep at his life. Because our
close to Marvel.
Our old people used to whip off for keep at his lip and keep at his life. So there were certain things that a young man could not have divulged and shouldn't have done so yesterday. Let's be practically honest. Let him go to bed and sleep with his conscience that at least he kept some secrets. Because in this world, you don't know what tomorrow holds.
No.
Yep.
But when you care for your future, that what can happen. What type of country is this, Manneh Sumo? When all politicians see it as an elephant meat. Yes.
Yeah. What type of country is that? Everybody wants to eat.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting? Nobody thinking on a private sector job again in Liberia.
No.
Everybody now, they're rallying the troop to get in government. I heard a time I was between sleep and wake. I hear the man say he would pave all the roads in Kakata.
So the question that comes on where is the money?
I mean, I was between sleep and wake.
I want people. Can you imagine somebody that the U.S. government asks to step aside? Then he come and promise you, say, I will pave all the roads in Kakata. Where will he get the money from?
What type of country is this? When Costa wants to be a vice president, but he has to do GoFundMe on the internet.
Yeah. What type of country is this? What type of country is this? Now, when you look at the man resume, man, you can't see no work experience, bro. No work experience. You say I've been 10-year podcasters.
Yeah. Manneh Sumo say he was flogged once because he did not keep his lip. But man, in my family, my upbringing, you supposed to put your mouth the way it belong.
My man, those days, my man.
You supposed to know things and go talk.
Right. Also, when those people feeling with you're not believing, my man.
I will go to my grave with that secret. I'm telling you.
You gotta close that mouth, my man.
He got keep at his lip, keep at his life.
That's right.
And that man say he grew up, he from the settlement. Then he talking plenty like that. He said, man couldn't talk. I said, okay, my picking from the settlement.
Yeah, say man, I would do something.
Yeah, then what yeah, my man.
Man will be on. The man will be on.
What are you?
The man put a dent in his future yesterday, unknowingly. He
What
thought
type
he
of
was trying to
country is
come
this?
across as a hero, but he
Liberia,
created more
Liberia,
problems. Yeah.
where prophecy favors you, but can't even
When District 5, District 6, but when they gotta go to that pastor or all the money that he get that pastor to pray for him, and man, that pastor gotta get him more money, Baba.
No, you're not blaming the pastor. They put gay in the 30 million to run for president. He
Say he
turned it down.
wanted.
you refuse it. Some of the Waji, what type of country is this? Where single and married women will work
Work
double and
double.
triple just to support an unemployed man in America. What type of country is this?
Whatever
And
country
like
is
women,
this?
single women and married women working double and triple just to support the unemployed Heron Costa in America.
Yeah.
What type of
What
country
he
is this?
say? What type of country is this?
Uh-uh.
They taking the money to do something with it.
Mhm. My man, some of them working 80 hours a week, and they're still paying the man bills. Oh.
Listen, no, I want you to say the only thing you find the man's address is on his
Name,
resume is his address.
Phone number.
And maybe what radio station name? What it was called?
What I do what
Roots? It
Truth
was it?
FM? No, not Truth FM.
No,
Yeah,
Roots.
Roost. Yeah, Roost
Roots.
FM,
And
something
Roots.
like
I
that.
mean, I had
Yeah,
Roots FM.
yeah. This is man, only thing you can
Next
find.
thing was the perfect radar. But why did he?
What did
Why
did he?
he found his mom? I'm not sure what he meant to say.
Yeah.
Boniface says, "What type of country is this where the former vice president can leave his fellow partisan behind when it comes to money, but takes his family member?" AJB. What type of country is this that now nobody can trust Costa anymore? I supported him when he said men can talk. Oh, we all know what that means. How many times we got in an argument with people and just said, I can't even say what I really want to say. And that's true.
Yeah.
Because you know how much they're going to be damning, they're going to fight the
man.
relationship.
You can't.
We know what that
hurt
means
it.
and value the relationship we have, so we rather not ruin it.
Yeah.
And man, Costa, you love the woman so much. But here
Destroy
you're
it.
talking about him.
Yeah.
People have lost all respecting you.
Yeah.
Let's talk so.
Yeah. I mean, young man, you know.
Let's talk so.
Yeah, young
And I like
man.
the way Shaggy said this. I like this part and I want to read it again. How many times haven't we gotten in argument with people and just say, I can't even say it because I don't,
Man, let that be so.
you know, let it be so, my man. You're right. You win.
Yeah,
You win.
yeah.
And we let it be.
Let it go.
Because when you say that one thing and other people around, you sever that relationship.
Yep.
It's over. It's damaged.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's irreparable.
And the worst thing about it, to talk about somebody's health in such a denigrating way, my man. Can you imagine, Volcano? Like the three of us on the podcast, we are friends. We know one another. If any of us comes and say,
My man,
this person is this.
No. We've graduated from friends.
Yeah. We are brothers. Yeah.
We are brothers. We are colleagues.
Yeah.
And you see here, the term colleagues means that we see ourselves in a professional, relationship. That's what colleagues are. Patriots.
Yep.
We are heading in the same direction.
Yeah.
And then we are brothers by the ties.
Yeah.
The things that we like. That's why we're here tonight.
Yeah.
This is what we like, and it brings us together as brothers. So we can't come here and like what happened with the Spoon Network.
Yeah, we can do
Similar
that.
stuff. I would never go down. I'm not going to do that. I will walk away in silence.
Just play low
and let people make their own have their own perception, make their own assumptions and stuff like that. But I will walk away in silence. Henry Costa could have walked away in silence.
Man, he would have been highly respected. Look, I give it all to Senator Yomli Kanga.
Absolutely. Because we try to eat her up. You remember we try to eat her up?
Yeah, we try to eat her up.
And we say, let's not rush.
Yeah. But look at the U-turn, eh?
Her sister even
look at the
called,
U-turn,
that night.
Yeah. Look at the U-turn this woman has made. See the level of respect that this woman command into this Liberia. Everywhere the old man turns, Senator Kanga is in the surrounding. They call her what? The rescue mother.
But who patterned that name now? It will be difficult now. You know,
In fact, you know what?
in the name.
Henry Costa said it was the ALP that that created the name Rescue Mission.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Manneh Sumo said fault finding is a habit, a bad habit that hurts you. Why find fault because you were not given a position? What type of country is this?
Yeah.
What type of
Yeah.
country is this?
It's all
Everything should
about
be about you,
positions.
man.
Global Livingstone said, what type of country is this that now people will see Henry Costa coming in a room and they will close their mouth?
Oh yeah, over man, come here.
Man, Camille. Camille, let's keep quiet.
You know,
Anything good?
you know,
That's a
you
good
know
one.
what Flomos said absolutely is true. Because even in the workplace, if you got somebody that you're considered to be a spy,
They call it Jeje Pole.
but man, you're sitting in the break room, and so you're saying, "So, my man, keep quiet, I man, come here."
Man, Camille. That's a bad thing. Come on, Livingston, stop that crap.
Yeah, you're all in the
Alexander Hayes.
community.
What
All
type
of
of
you're in
country
the
is this?
community. Everybody knows that you're on the business. You meddling to everybody. As soon as you see this, my man, I need to keep quiet. I man, come here, you.
They throw signs.
Yeah.
Or
And
somebody
the people were laughing, but everybody was serious now.
yeah, or one man will just get say, my man, I see you.
I see.
And see everybody start leaving, my man.
What type of country is this? When a man don't even know when he had shot himself in the legs and falling on his face and on his yanch and still going around talking tapa tapa. Hey, Henry Costa, what type of country is this?
Henry Costa shot himself in the leg yesterday.
Everybody in the room talking as soon so my man said, Thomas, why you say everybody in the room talking? As soon as Henry Costa walks in, the whole room just goes quiet.
Get quiet. My man, what happened? He said, no.
He said, no, man. He said, man, don't leave that thing, man. He said, but my man, what happened? He said, no, my man. In fact, my man, look, I gotta go attend to something, yeah. So everybody, everywhere that Henry Costa go, everybody will be walking away.
So, gentlemen, let's put a lid on this conversation and get out of here. It's 9:32.
Yeah,
it was a great talk,
yeah.
but let's put a lid on it now. Let's close it up. Let's close it up.
Yeah.
What we've done here tonight is an indication of the fact that we look at things from a more in-depth perspective. Sometimes it's not all about balance, right?
No, it's
But you got to go into the core, and find the meat. And I think we've done that, to a greater extent. And this conversation can continue, and it will continue.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going to come out of it
Right.
in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months. But again, as we put the lid on this conversation for tonight, what is your draw away from this press conference? What is your draw away from Joe Biden Jr.? I've never heard a young man speak from the time his father was vice president.
That's
today.
my first time hearing tonight.
So it tells you that something here is not right.
No.
Go ahead, gentlemen.
Yeah, look, like you said, I think the message, what we said tonight, it tells you that people are listening, Volcano. That maybe their own people say, my man, I think we gotta do something. And while we're on, we don't know whether that podcast was done prior to this show, but for people closer or for someone who is very close to the old man to come and say something like that, I think it's encouraging. And honestly, I would like to wrap it up by saying that Henry Costa, you are a brother, you are a friend. He has a very high regard for me. He calls me Mr. Sandy. Henry, we all love you, but I think yesterday you made a huge mistake. You made name for yourself when you said men can't talk all.
And you know what was intriguing?
Yeah.
The very party that he
Yeah.
was representing, we did not see Benona Ure flanked
No.
anywhere next to him.
No, but they
So
push the man.
it's like they're just using it as the
They're
cover.
using it. Yeah, yeah.
So you see what Jatu Sia Morris is saying here? You said when you speak, the country will shake, but then rather the country is laughing at you.
Yeah. Now he has become a laughing stock.
So that's the fear here. When you're a young man and you don't know that somebody gonna use your hand to take the palm nut out of the fire, or when you take the palm nut out of the fire, start burning you
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to throw it down. That's what is happening here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Politics is a growth process. You don't especially the Delta water zoning when politics of Liberia. Why you think people like Edwin Snow is surviving? Why you
Can
think
make keep
people
emotion.
and he knows how to play his game? Why you think what's his name? The late
Eugene Nambe.
Kekurak Poto and
Eugene
Eugene
Nambe.
Nangwe.
Yeah.
You know how many governments Eugene Nangwe has worked in?
About know how to roll a cars, my man.
Then you begin you just acting first game because you think you can talk, you reading there, you dramatizing, you carry on. Hey man, you think you can read more than everybody?
And in addition to that, my brothers, it's truth telling, honesty, respect are very, very important
Yeah.
in life. And I don't think in that press conference the young man exhibited those things. And that is a serious problem too. I don't think he exhibited those things. He left a lot to be desired in that statement. He raised more questions than answers in that
Absolutely.
statement. Yeah. And he came across as somebody who was so angry and desperate that he wanted to destroy the old man to the point that he embellished a lot of things and that will damage him.
Of course.
And it's probably, these people try to take advantage of the gullibility of our people, of voters, that somehow they will just accept everything that is put out there and not analyze critically and ask the relevant questions. I'm happy, guys, with what we've done tonight to really play the tape, listen, and go almost practically step by step
Yeah.
and dissect what he said and look for the truth and look for the fiction and look for the embellishment and look for the childish political stuff. I was talking, and I will end on this note. I was talking to somebody this morning, early this morning. He called me from Liberia and said, "What's going on in Liberia there?" He said that is the rant of a desperate
You see that?
um
Young
um
man.
a desperate, no, that's the word he used, a desperate um delinquent, a juvenile delinquent. The rant of a desperate juvenile delinquent.
You
He's
see
a
that?
juvenile.
Yeah.
That's how children behave. And
Yeah.
when children are desperate, they do and say all kinds of things
They
without
put up
thinking,
tantrums, my
and they
man.
put up tantrums. So it is a rant of a desperate juvenile delinquent, and that's exactly what happens. A child's angry and just talk
Yeah.
whatever they feel.
Yeah. Start flipping tables, breaking
Yeah,
in the air, man. That's
So let me come in with my thought here.
yeah.
Aaron Costa sits in a class and he gets double promotion, and so he thinks now he deserves to be the prefect.
Mm.
That's the way I'm gonna look at it.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He came in Liberia in this post-war era, made some loud noise. People
Yep,
gravitated toward him,
yep,
gave him some kind of listening audience, and so he created the relevance. Then what even escalated his popularity was the whole rally. He
Yeah.
brags about that rally. It's the biggest rally ever in the history of Liberia, and he can pull a crowd. He can pull any crowd. When you start thinking that way,
yep,
you go over your head.
Yeah.
yes,
When you go over your head, what happens? You stop to think.
yes,
Politics is about critical thinking. Politics is about critical thinking. It's not it's not a, a, a place to be where you just go in by what we'll consider on the whims, where
Mm-hmm.
you go in and just be impulsive.
Yeah,
The
has to
best
be
politicians
calculated.
are critical thinker.
Mhm.
They analyze what they're gonna say. They make sure that if anything comes out of them, they can live with the repercussion. I'm
Yes.
sure that Costa is regretting at
Oh
this
yeah,
point.
yeah.
If Costa tells me that he's not regretting, then he's not a politician or he's not aspiring to be a politician. Because honestly, politics is about critical thinking.
Yep.
The waterside politics that they're doing in Liberia today, assassination of character, the Sony when politics all filthy, everything they're doing, they castigating each other, talking bad. They're listening to the pundits, they're listening to some of the people who come here in the issues room and trying to fight. You're fighting for somebody who you even not stands next to. You're fighting for somebody you even in a photo with.
No,
You're fighting for somebody causing other people that you will not even see in your lifetime. You only see them in newspaper or in on TV or something. I said in your lifetime, meaning you see the man live, you can be in his proximity. That's the kind of politics we have in Liberia.
yeah,
And if you're not careful, it harms you, it harms your future. I ain't going to sacrifice my years on earth, the things that I've done to increase my own potential, sacrifice it to give it to somebody and just insult other people. That is why I have been very careful and critical about what I say, what kind of conversation I hold, especially when you come live, because it's an important place. When you speak, you can retrieve it.
no, it's already out there.
So, gentlemen, it was good conversation tonight. Let's stay backstage so we can have this quick conversation. Also,
Yeah,
Yeah.
great show.
okay.
Great show. Yeah, great
Thank you
show.
everyone for joining us here tonight. Let me quickly run down the names. Let me put you guys backstage quick and run down these names quick. Shaki McCaffrey, thank you. Flomo Livingston, as usual. Liberia. It was good seeing you. Jatu Sia Morris, thanks for stopping by. Manneh Sumo, of course. Alexander Hayes. Amma Freeman, as usual. We'd like to see you all the time. Thomas Awaji, the extraordinaire. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Tax Kani, good to see you. Menepele Sumo, all the way from Missouri. Thank you, my brother, for joining us. Fonigali Masale, thank you. It was good seeing you here tonight. Ida V. Mac in touch. Thank you for coming here tonight, joining us here in the issues room. Nani Bube, it was good seeing you here as well. Mapu Hall, of course. Thank you for joining us. Malvina Wallace, Adiaha Umo, thank you. Rivers as Pro, good to see you, my brother. Rovia George, it was good seeing you. We say thank you to all of you for coming through. Emmanuel Vakwe, thanks for coming here tonight. Maurice Gassama, we say thank you for coming through. Just all of you who showed up here tonight, we say thank you so much. We appreciate your viewership. Hamilton Zilli, good to see you. And everyone else. Thomas Harvey, good points made. It was good to see you joining us here tonight in the issues room. We say thank you to all of you who showed up, and we encourage you to continue to share our page, invite others to like us, love us, and find time to join us. Here we are the alternative. Isaac Smith, it was good to see you too. Um, and just everyone. I mean, I just can go all the way through everything, but Kennedy, Kure, and Benno O'Kerner, thanks for stopping by as usual here in the issues room. We say thank you for coming through here tonight. Good to see all of you wonderful people. Invite others to join us here. As usual, we're here 7 p.m. rather, Eastern Standard Time, and 11 p.m. in Liberia. Fergie Monyu, we couldn't forget you, my brother. Joseph Konto, as well. We couldn't forget you guys for always coming here to be here with us. And Manneh Sumo, as I said, thank you. Good night. We'll be back here on Friday with another presentation.